Previously on Sonic High School. Okay, this is what happened last time, and listen close because a lot happened, and I'm only doing this once. Rouge had the baby. The baby came out, and it looked like Knuckles, and because it was Knuckles' baby, and then Knuckles came by and was pissed off about it when he saw the baby, and then so he wanted to fight Espio, and that happened, but we're not there yet. Hold up. Sonic. Okay, so Knuckles was like, I fucking hate you, Espio. You fucked my girlfriend. I hate you, and I don't want this damn kid. And then Espio and him were gonna fight the next day, and Sonic tried to fuck Amy again, and that didn't work, obviously.
Hey, Amy. So, did you decide if you wanted sex?
You know, said Amy, Sonic, I'm just too stressed out and nervous by everything going on at high school. Things are so crazy.
Damn.
And then they helped, Sonic helped Espio prepare for a fight, and Tails was there too, but Tails was pissed about Sonic being there, and Tails took Sonic's journal about his ball problems or something. Who cares? Then they left. That happened. Okay, so the next day, Knuckles and Espio did fight, and they were all, like, kicking the shit out of each other, and then they started kissing, and they said that they respected each other.
I respect you.
An Einstein body donation happened, and follow along because you might miss something here. Tails explained it all, but I'm not going to. They loved each other so much that it caused magic, but it's not magic, it's science to happen, and Knuckles floated into Rouge's mouth and was reborn as a baby that looked like Espio, but he's still Knuckles. He's just small. He's a baby now that looks like Espio, but he's still Knuckles. He has all Knuckles memories. He's just a baby. And it also, that again came out of the butt of Rouge. Tails and Cream almost hooked up. Tails is in love with Cream, but Cream was like, I'm dating Charmy, so like I can't do that. But whenever I'll break up with Charmy and then we can be together. And then Sonic went to the doctor. No, before that happened, they went to the play. It was wait, no, I was right. Sonic's mom read the Sonic's journal and was like, yo, your balls are fucked. You gotta go to the doctor. And he went to a Chinese doctor, and the doctor told Sonic he has a legendary disease that'll kill him. And he can't have sex or else he'll die. Shadow picked up a Chaos Emerald, killed some people, then picked up Silver, went to school, and then they went to the play, and the play was chill. Everyone kept calling the play gay. It was a Christmas play, and then Charmy pulled out a knife during the play and tried to kill Knuckles Jr. Or sorry, not Knuckles. I can't keep track of Knuckles Jr. is Knuckles' actual child, but Knuckles is Knuckles. But Knuckles Jr. looks like Knuckles, and Knuckles looks like Espio now. It's fucking annoying. And so then Charmy tried to kill Knuckles, or Knuckles Jr., one of the two, and then they ran out of school looking for a while, and then they found them. Sonic and Shadow and Silver all looked. They couldn't find him, and then Rouge and Amy found Charmy in the bathroom. They fought Charmy for a little bit. Turns out Charmy was actually a robot Charmy. Tails killed him, and then they went to school. Amy and Rouge are in detention for being in the boys' bathroom. And then Sonic is now taking care of Knuckles and Knuckles Jr., and then they kissed. Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. kissed, and Sonic did videotape that. And then they went to bed, and Knuckles Jr. told Sonic that he knows who the real killer is. And that's where we're at. Good night, y'all. Bye-bye. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Did you guys get all that? Blinking, you might miss something. Holy. We did it!
Yeah.
We're in the finale, guys. We're in the home stretch. This is the rest of Sonic High School that we'll ever have until we do the cool side stories. The spin-offs.
I'm excited.
We'll turn up that so I can get better lighting in here. Let's go, dude.
Leo said that they're gonna finally pay attention this time, and that makes me pretty excited. I'm glad.
Whenever I was recording the voiceover for the for the recap, I was like, Jesus Lord, there's so much that's happened. And then the next 8 chapters. Oh boy, there's a lot more that happens, but we're glad that everyone's here. We're glad that everyone's here for the finale of this hallowed story of the treasured Sonic High School. It is the end, but we do have the spin-off. The spin-off is real.
What's it called?
I don't want to say what it's called. Here, actually,
Why?
let me see if I can find the actual Sonic
Are there
High School.
spoilers in the title for the
Yeah,
spin-offs?
I believe, yeah. He did do a spin-off. I'm kind of quiet. Chill, chill, chill. I am kind of quiet. Look at my levels. He's so real. Let's turn that way up. Let's turn that gain up,
That's
baby.
like the first time anyone's ever said that to Seth. You're kind of quiet.
I had to turn down my volume today for a reason. I was recording something that you guys will see soon. Um,
Yes, sir.
It'll be really good. Al is loud. I know that's right. Here, Al, talk for me,
Dude,
would you?
Loaf Dog, how dare you? No one's ever said that about me in my whole life. I can't believe you making up
Where?
things like that.
I'm trying to find the actual spin-off. It was hosted on Archive of Our Own. This is the fanfic is hosted. The spin-off is hosted on fanfiction.net. Let me see if I can't find the. Wait, This is another spin-off? This is fanfiction of Sonic High School? Holy. Okay, well, we're not gonna worry about all that right now. Also, apologies for my voice being absolutely cooked. I was screaming yesterday, and so now I sound like a fucking crazy person. All right,
Yeah, you
Alec.
were threatening violence on random people.
I was drinking, and Al called me, and I thought he was being mean to me instinctively, because he usually is, and I said really mean things to him. But I called him and apologized because I felt so bad for my friend that I was mean to him.
Whatever.
Sorry, what was that?
Whatever.
Whatever. Whatever. Isn't this the chapter with the top tier sex scene? Yeah, I know it is. Yeah, there's multiple sex scenes. There's like fucking 5 before we finish the story. Well, buddy, do you want to get into it?
I am ready. Yeah, this is the one that has the warning. Contains the worst sex scene ever written. And yes, I have read My Immortal.
Oh, bro, it's gonna be so much. Why did you? And Zach retracted his message. He said hard pass for real, and I pinned it, and then he's retracted it. I'm putting him in timeout for that one.
Oh no.
I'm gonna time him out. Oh my word. Okay. Okay, let's get right into it, buddy. Thank you guys
Yeah,
all
I'm
for being
ready.
here on this journey. This has been incredible.
Give me one second before I start reading.
Oh my god. I need like eye drops for my throat. I'm absolutely cooked. Oh, no, Balcaf, buddy. Don't be concerned at all. So I know we did just watch the recap, but right now, Sonic and Knuckles Jr. Knuckles Jr. had a premonition that he knows where the real killer was. And
That
so,
happened after the two babies were making out
yes, that
in front
happened
of
after the
Knuckles.
two that happened after the two babies made out. And by the way, would you believe
Yeah.
me if I told you that that pays off in the last chapter of the story? It
Does
all
it?
everything ties back together, man. I couldn't believe it.
All right. All right. Hey, let's hit it. I'm
All right.
ready.
Sonic, thank you guys. Here we go. Sonic High School, Chapter 17. Does this one even have a title? Breaking In,
I,
Chapter 17, Breaking In.
all right. Ass! This window will not open. Not even a little.
Said Sonic as he tried pushing the window of the house where Charmy V was in Knuckles Jr.'s vision. Sonic even put his head back up against the wall and tried using the top of his head and hands to push up on it, but it would just not move because it was just such a big and heavy closed window.
It looks like you're having a hard time.
said Knuckles Jr.
Weak pussy.
Knuckles Jr. laughed because he was kidding, but Sonic did not think it was that funny and gave him a look that was like he just took the pickles off Sonic's hamburger that he specifically asked for pickles on. In addition, Sonic really liked pickles,
We need help, but I do not want to bring someone else into this problem.
said Sonic to Knuckles Jr., thinking. Sonic thought about.
Who is strong?
He thought about some people, like Knuckles. But then remembered that he is now a baby, and hence, thus, not a strong guy. And Tails, who was not strong, but probably had some strong robots. And Espio, who was probably about the same in strongness as Sonic. But Sonic did not want to ask him for help because that would be like saying.
Are stronger than me.
And Sonic did not want to say that to Espio. He also thought of Big the Cat, who was in some retard classes at school, but he did not want to talk to him because it was always weird. There was only one person that Sonic could think of.
Come with me, Knuckles Jr. Oh, wait.
Sonic.
I don't know why I did that voice for that. I'm sorry. I'm out of it.
It's okay.
I woke up 30 minutes ago.
Do you want to do another line read? Take two on that?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
Come with me, Knuckles Jr.
Said Sonic to Knuckles Jr. It was the middle of the night, and Sonic and Knuckles Jr. went up to the door of a different house.
Ding dong.
Said the doorbell when Sonic pressed it.
Press it again.
Said Knuckles Jr.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong,
Said
ding doing.
Said the doorbell again and again as Sonic pressed it. Sonic saw the lights flashing on and off inside the house every time he pressed it and laughed because it was probably so annoying and the person inside the house was probably just trying to sleep. But Sonic needed help, so too bad. Finally, the door opened and there was the lunch lady from high school who was deaf.
Can I do a deaf voice? Is that should I do a deaf voice?
Buddy, use your own judgment.
Maybe not. Okay, I'll try to do an old lady voice. What is it, children?
Said the lunch lady. Since she was deaf when she talked, it sounded weird and kind of like Big the Cat, where you think she is retarded, but she actually is not, and it just because she is deaf and everything she says sounds totally wrong. It sounded more like than normal language. Big the Cat was actually retarded though, so it was different.
We need your help. It is very important.
Said Sonic, and made a face like a beggar idiot would to get her to say yes.
I feel like I have to do that voice because they made it lore accurate to do the voice. But I don't know, guys. Will I get in trouble? Can I just ask check? Will I get in trouble if I do deaf lunch lady voice?
We had 13 viewers. They heard your deaf voice. And now we have everyone is leave stream. Leo, I know what you're saying. No, they haven't said this word at all until now, and they've said it 3 times in the past paragraph.
I don't know if I should. Okay, I don't want more people to leave from my voice. Okay.
Chat has our backs.
Oh yes.
Man,
okay,
this bot is
dude.
gonna kick ass.
Delia said it, so I'm believing. Okay. Hey, how are you?
Said the lunch lady. Sonic and Knuckles Jr. were so excited that they high-fived right there because this was just what they needed to do. Wait, sorry? Because this was just what they needed to do what they wanted to do. Sonic and Knuckles Jr. and the lunch lady went back to the house where Charmy was and went to the window that Sonic could not open.
Please open this window,
said Sonic to the lunch lady. The lunch lady walked over to the window, and with just her pinky finger, she opened the window like she was a walking elephant picking up a piece of string because it was so easy.
Wow, thank you. Wow, thank you.
said Sonic and Knuckles Jr. at the same time in the middle of the night.
No, do not thank me.
Said the lunch lady. When the lunch lady lived in Bangladesh as a young woman, she learned about the ancient tradition of sex thinking, and she explained it all to Sonic.
So you want me to give you sex with my mouth?
Said Sonic to the lunch lady.
Yes, because that vision is not sight.
Said the lunch lady, who was also really tall.
Amy will forgive me for this.
Thought Sonic underneath his hair in his brain.
She would know that what I'm doing. She would know that I am doing this for a good reason and have not even done sex yet. So she cannot be mad at me. And even if she is, I would let her give sex to the lunch lady too, and I would not get mad. But then we would be even.
Sonic winked and gave her a thumbs up, and then the lunch lady pulled her dress down and sat on a tree stump and opened her legs. I have like fucking 7 paragraphs. Jesus Christ. All right, kiddos, buckle in. Sonic looked at the lunch lady's vagina, and it looked like a sideways piece of lasagna in between two dogs walking down and away from it. Sonic thought her vagina was really attractive for a middle aged lady and put his head closer to it. Sonic had never done mouth sex before, but he had read about it online and maybe looked at some pictures or videos really quick but then closed them before he would get in trouble with mom. Sonic tried to think about the videos to know what to do, but it turned out Sonic was quite the sex man. It all came naturally to him anyways. Sonic opened his mouth and chewed on the lunch lady's vagina really hard, like Pac-Man running into the bottom of one of the ghosts nonstop. She was totally quiet while he did this, but she was beating on the ground and making huge holes like meteors and even hit a tree nearby and it broke in half because she was so in love with Sonic's abilities. Sonic nibbled on her outer vagina and it tasted like birthday cake. His penis even popped up during this, like a meerkat looking out for its family on Meerkat Manor. He kept on going closer into her vagina and making sure to get every part of it on the way down like a window washer in New York City washing windows, but instead it was her vagina, so it was sexy. Sonic also kissed and sucked on her vagina like he was trying to appreciate the secret sauce in the lunch lady's roast beef sandwich without opening the sandwich. Sonic even used his tongue and scooped eggs out of her vagina. Sorry, out of her vagian that were made during the female reproduction process. He kept going further into her vagina until he was able to fit his entire head in. It was really dark inside her vagina because there weren't any lights, but it was clearly where the sexiest parts of her were. It was spacious, like an empty factory from all the previous sex thinking people had done for her. Sonic was able to get them, parentheses, sex bots, all using his mouth and nose and forehead, pleasing her and making her fall in love with him. He was rolling his head around in her vagina like he was doing a hula hoop on his neck. She was so impressed that Sonic thought she would email everyone in Bangladesh to tell them how good Sonic was at sex thinking later. Sonic decided it was time to finish doing this and shouted, Alastor,
Yeah,
that's your line.
I did it. Did you not hear it?
It clipped the mic entirely.
Oh, I guess I gotta tone it down then, huh? Yeah!
I did hear that.
You heard that one?
I did hear that the first time you did it. It literally clipped. I didn't hear a single atom come out of your.
I was wondering why
Okay.
you were so quiet after I did it, and then you were like, "Hey, come on, dude, read your line."
He said, yeah, inside her vagina to make the vibrations bounce off the walls of her vagina and hitting all of the sex spots at once. The lunch lady was so excited that she pulled out the tree stump that she was sitting on out of the ground. She could do this because she was very strong and experienced with carrying trees, as we know. Sonic took
Backstory,
his
dude.
took his head out of her vagina and brushed the vagina crumbs off his face and combed his hair.
You're welcome.
Laughed Sonic smoothly to the lunch lady and looked at Knuckles Jr., who was watching with his big eyes but did not say anything. The lunch lady put her clothes on and shook his head and said that the people of Bangladesh will be very impressed with him and that if he ever wanted to visit them, visit there just to tell her. And she could buy plane tickets for him and all his friends. The lunch lady was really nice, even if she had weird ideas she got from being in Asia when she was little. She went back home to get sleep. Sonic and Knuckles Jr. then went inside the open window. That's a spoiler. Not really. That cool.
Mm, he is in there. I know it.
Said Knuckles Jr., who was pointing at a closet in the room that they were in, which was now inside the house, and it was a bedroom inside. Sonic and Knuckles tiptoed over to the closet and opened it up, and what they saw was surprising and shocking and scary. It was Charmy Bee's body, all dead and bloody and rotting and cut up into pieces.
Wow, he is completely dead.
Said Sonic, who was so shocked that he could not think about anything else. It was true. This time it was really Charmy, and he was dead.
Wait.
Your line is, oh my god.
It's that whole entire line, actually.
Oh my god,
Right?
you're so right. Yeah. My bad. MB.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm seeing so many shocking things for the first time today.
Said Knuckles Jr. Sonic went down and picked up a piece of his body and saw bite marks in it. Sonic was about to say something, and then all of a sudden this happened.
Okay, Vector. Well, what are you idiots? What are you doing, you idiots?
Shouted Vector.
How'd you get in here? Oh, it's me again. That window, bitch dick.
Said Sonic as he felt a sudden rage build up inside him, like the foam from the cream soda going over the top of the glass when someone pours it like an idiot ass.
Who's talking? Okay.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? Why did you do this? Why are you the murderer?
Let me show you how.
Said Vector as he ran at Sonic and Knuckles Jr., chomping his teeth in the style of an alligator. Now, I would say we can just roll right into the next chapter, but we need to talk about that thing that happened last chapter.
Yeah, I was gonna talk real quick. I'm really glad that Meerkat Manor got a shout out. I haven't watched that since I was like 9, but I will say I used to watch that a lot, and they did do that. They would poke their little heads out and look around like they're on guard. So pretty cool that they got that right.
Have you ever read a story in which they use oral sex and Meerkat Manor in the same sentence?
No, but I really just the other thing I wanted to point out was that the lunch lady apparently gets paid a shit ton if she's willing to buy flight tickets for all Sonic and all his friends to go to Bangladesh. She must be raking in the dough.
Or he's just that good at sex. And she's like, I'll financially ruin
I'll go in
myself
debt
because you put your whole fucking head in my vagina.
Yeah. This just really brings me back to the question that I've had since the very first, which is, how old is this person? And like you would think they would, like, they have to live in like a third world country that doesn't have access to porn, because how else does he not know that that's not how it works?
I really don't know. At this point, I'm like, is this a troll? But it seems so sincere. And like, if it is a troll, it seems like it's gone beyond trolling. But I'm with you. I think the author might knows how sex work, but I think that he might think that this is hot. That this is like maybe this is like a fetish, like he has like a reverse birthing fetish.
Yeah.
Sonic ate her ovarian eggs, bro.
I was gonna say that. You know what I love about this though is that it brings out different people's like Ludmilla. She questioned the crumbs. I questioned it tasting like birthday cake while he was chewing on it.
Dude, yeah, he chewed on
You
it really
questioned the
hard.
scooping out of the eggs. You know, we all have something different that we find in this that we go, what the heck?
And now we kind of I'm accepting most of it. Like I mean, in the first few chapters, we were laughing about said Sonic, but now like the lunch lady comes in there, opens up the window with her pinky finger, and then they have sex outside while Knuckles Jr. is there the entire time, and we're like, yeah.
Well, hey, the
Okay.
good news about Charmy B being dead as shit is that now Tails can fuck Creamy.
Tails can fuck Cream. Tails can fuck Cream now for sure.
Yeah. So, and you know, I'm pretty happy for him. I'm sure he wants to taste birthday cake, crunchy.
Do you remember
Eggs.
in the previous chapter when Knuckles Jr. and Sonic were laughing about Charmy B being gay and not like a woman, or like a woman but not hot, and they were like, "It's okay though, even if he's dead, because it made us feel good." He really was dead. They were laughing at a dead man.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it because we got a lot of reading to do tonight, lad.
Yep.
Here we go. Chapter 18, The Murderer. Vector ran at Sonic and Knuckles Jr., who were there in his room with his teeth going 1,000,000 miles an hour. O-U-R. Miles an hour. O-U-R.
Here comes your death, straight from my mouth.
Said Vector as he ran at them, still going. Shouted Sonic. Sonic was fast and able to do it, so he ran forward in between Vector's legs, under his body, and hit his head into Vector's penis while sliding through. He was still holding Knuckles Jr., the baby. Sonic ran to another wall of the room, but Vector ran right back at him with his big crocodile bite move, and Sonic dodged him again, and it kept happening again and again.
Do you hear that?
I did not hear that.
Okay. Now every time you're quiet, I have to question whether or not it peaked. Stop it!
Shouted Sonic.
Stop doing this!
Sonic was sick of hitting his head into Vector's penis. It was beginning to leave a mark, and it was embarrassing to Sonic to have someone else's penis mark on your head.
This better come out before school,
said Sonic, rubbing the mark Vector's penis left on his forehead, F-O-R-H-E-A-D.
No, you must die,
said Vector, and continued to be the murderer that he had turned out to be.
No, stop! Come on!
said Sonic, yelling, and he was getting so mad. But Vector ran at him another time, and Sonic kept hitting his thick green crocodile dick, and it kept getting harder now every time he hit it. Sonic guessed weird things like this were sexy to Vector. Sonic kept hitting his penis and making it harder and harder until one time Sonic slided under where his penis and stuff was and hit it with his head. So semen ejaculated out of his penis and slid across the floor in a big long puddle like a slip and slide covered with mayonnaise.
Right,
said Sonic. Vector looked shocked. Like he did not even notice that his penis was turning into a hard penis. Now Sonic threw Knuckles Jr. at the puddle of Vector's semen. Knuckles Jr. glided across Vector's semen like a baby speedboat and did a roller coaster turn and flew up onto Vector. Knuckles Jr. landed somewhere on him and did a tumble forward and got to his head, where he poked Vector's eyes, and Vector began to scream.
Bitch baby, that hurts. I'll kill you.
screamed Vector, while Knuckles Jr. rolled off his body and over to the door of his room.
Over here, Sonic.
Said Knuckles Jr. while Vector was still rubbing his eyes, which hurt from the attack. Sonic ran over to the door and, with his speeding legs, kicked it down like a professional wrestler, picking up a person and hitting them down onto the ground through a door. God damn. Sonic then picked up Knuckles Jr. and ran through the door and down the hall through Vector's house and saw lots of green things and things that were about crocodiles and also bad things like rooms full of drugs and guns and even things like weird African porn videos. Then he got to a different door and opened it and walked into the other side and closed the door and put some things in front of the door to block it. Then, with a stomping loud noise, like a bowling ball with legs, was jumping up and down on the floor and hitting it hard. Vector went up to the door and put his body on it, trying to crash through it like a penis going into a big, hard vagina.
Open this, please.
Screamed Vector as he tried to hit it down.
No! Why did you kill Charmy?
Shouted Sonic at Vector, who was on the other side of the door that was hard to get through.
Because Knuckles messed it all up. Knuckles, or SBO, was supposed to kill the other one when they fought in the school hallway that one time. I made that fight happen because I wanted them to die, because they are both fag lords and they are the only people who could beat me and become the new football team captain. So I went to Knuckles' house instead after and replaced him with a robot Charmy and took the real Charmy home and chewed on his broken body and made him into meat that I can use for my meals. He was no use to anyone, especially not me. None of you are. Ah!
Vector screamed and hit the door, but still could not get through.
Where did you get a Charmy robot? Is Eggman involved? This could ruin things for everyone, don't you know?
Said Sonic back to Vector like a ship sending a message to a different ship.
When you begin to do the crimes, you become dark, and I have now become darker than Shadow. I made friends with AI. I didn't see that one coming. I made friends with Al Qaeda. They made me a Charmy robot using Osama bin Laden's technology. He was bulletproof, and he was going to kill first Knuckles, and then Espio in the hospital, and then the rest of you, if I wanted, but you messed it up. Shit, idiot. Ah!
Vector hit on the door so hard that it actually started to break. Let's just get out of here. Oh shit,
Who
my
do you
bad,
think
my
you
bad,
are?
my bad,
Who
my
do you
bad.
think?
Sorry, I had like my heart started palpitating and I got kind of scared, and so I just kept reading.
Yeah, I understand. This one brings out emotions.
Let's get out of here.
Said Knuckles Jr.
Um, we can call the police. Let's just get out of here and get safe.
Then Sonic and Knuckles ran out of the house, but just when they were doing that, Vector broke through the door and jumped like an alligator at Sonic and Knuckles and hit them to the ground and landed on top of them.
Oh, now I will kill you, just like I did to Charmy.
Said Vector and opened his mouth really big to bite their bodies. And then all of a sudden, something came from out of the sky and picked him up, and Vector was left there on the ground looking like a teen loser.
Your Tails, by the way?
I know, I fucked that up. We're in the air now, said Tails. I rescued you. Tails was using his flying tails to fly and was holding on to Sonic, who was holding Knuckles Jr. They were like a helicopter.
What? How did you know we were here?
Said Sonic, who was so shocked to be in this situation. I looked at the Charmy robot and figured out it was from Al Qaeda and broke into the government computer network system's data and found out that Vector was friends with Al Qaeda, said Tails, the smart friend of Sonic.
But I thought you were pissed at me,
said Sonic with a questioning sound. I am tired of being mad at you. We are best friends again, said Tails.
Cool. Now let's get Vector,
said Sonic. By now they were above the clouds, which is very high.
Fly down and I will kick his face off.
Tails flew down fast, and Knuckles held on to Knuckles Jr. really tightly. Sonic had his legs sticking out, and they went down faster than a shooting star being shot out of a gun down. They went back down to the floor where Vector was and kicked Vector's face. Vector's head almost spun around because they kicked him. They hit him so hard, but now he was on the ground.
Tails, do that one more time,
said Sonic. Tails flew up, and then Sonic revealed his balls, even though he could see almost the whole country from up here. He did not care because this was more important. Sonic scratched his balls and held on to Knuckles Jr. while Tails flew down really fast again. Sonic's balls dragged behind him in the sky, and they went to the bottom of the ground, and Sonic's diseased balls smacked right into Vector's face.
No!
Screamed Vector. Sonic's balls smacked into his mouth and nose and eyes like a plastic bag full of pudding. Vector looked into the sky and made an asshole face for the last time, and then he turned into stone and then turned into dust and now was dead.
I can be glad for once that my balls are very poisonous,
said Sonic as he looked at the pile of dust that was Vector before he died and did some squinting.
He is dead, and now everyone is okay now.
Thank goodness,
said Sonic Jr. said Knuckles Jr. to them.
This was too much excitement for one night.
Look at the bright side, said Tails to them. 2 of the worst fag-ass teenagers in high school are dead.
What did Charmy do, dog? What the hell?
I don't know. Vector's a murderer.
Yes, it is all fixed now,
said Sonic. They took Charmy's body with them, but not Vector's, parentheses, who was now a pile of dust, because they thought he did not deserve to be nice to. Then they went home to get ready for school tomorrow, and Sonic thought,
there are still more problems to deal with in high school. This is not over, especially not for me.
You want to roll right in the next one, babe?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sonic High School, Chapter 19. The title of this chapter is Secret Prostitute.
Warning, another bad sex scene.
It was now a new day of school, and Sonic went right to school. Sonic and Knuckles Jr. in his backpack. Wait, sorry? Sonic had Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. in his backpack, since he still had them after explaining what happened to Knuckles yesterday. Sonic scratched his balls along the way, and they were only getting worse.
You look like spoiled meat,
said Sonic to his balls. Sonic got to school, and the first thing he did was bring Charmy's dead head to theater class, because that was Charmy's favorite thing. And Sonic thought Charmy would like it if they used his face for a mask for the next play now that he is
what
dead.
The fuck?
Yeah. That's disgusting. Then Sonic took the rest of Charmy's body and put it outside in the trash can so nobody would look at it and try and find it, and it could be safe and alone. And after that, Sonic went to his first class, and then his second class, and even his third class, and else, and went to lunch, where there were his friends.
Hey, guys,
said Sonic to them.
Hey, Sonic,
said SBO.
I'm back from the hospital. Where's Charmy and Vector? Well, they're dead,
said Sonic.
Vector killed Charmy, and we killed Vector. So now they're both dead. Vector was a bad guy, so we will not be in trouble.
Yeah, said Tails. They will not come back to lunch anymore. I rescued Sonic and Knuckles Jr.
Oh, that's right. Where are Knuckles? Parentheses, my baby with rouge. And Knuckles Jr.
said SBO to Sonic and Tails.
They are right here. Here you go,
said Sonic, and Sonic gave the 2 babies to SBO. Click, click. What a relief. Sonic was tired of having to take care of babies that were not even his. It is good that Sonic has the best morals of all Hugh School students because any other person would not have taken good care of them.
He took them to a murderer. I don't think he's
He
exactly.
threw Knuckles Jr. into a pile of cum.
Yeah, but he has the best morals in all of Hughes School. That's for sure.
Hey, ass butthole.
Said Shadow.
It is my job to do crimes.
Then Shadow laughed and high-fived Sonic for doing a good job. Sonic was the best.
Please explain to Silver what happened.
Said Sonic to Shadow.
Okay, I will explain it to him. I wish he was in the same lunch period as us, but he is not.
Said Sonic it said Shadow in an explaining way. I would not high-five Sonic, said Tails. His balls are full of poison and it is easily catchable.
Tails!
Screamed Sonic.
So it is true. You really do have a ball problem?
Said SPO.
It's okay, Sonic. Other people have problems, and your balls are just like theirs. Okay, but this is different and bad and getting only more worse.
Said Sonic with a worrying voice.
Whatever.
It is almost summer, said Tails. That means high school is ending soon.
Cool, yeah.
Said everyone at the same time because it was easier to. Then everyone went to different classes. Tails went to his smart class that he was in with Cream, but Cream was standing outside of class where Tails went to. Cream, you are standing outside of the class. Why? Said Tails to Cream.
Me. Didn't you hear? Charmy is dead, and it relaxes me so much because now I do not have to break up with him. We can become true boyfriend and girlfriend now.
Said Cream to Tails in the hallway outside. But we have class now, said Tails to Cream.
Oh, forget class, smarto.
Said Cream shoutingly. Cream pulled Tails's hand until his whole body moved and brought him into the closet in the school. It was big enough inside for sex, is what Tails noticed. I think, yeah, smart move. Tails was so shocked, but he looked at her sexy body, and it looked like a beautiful naked man with a vagina. Yes, sir. Cream took out her bikini and showed it to Tails, and he went nuts. His penis got hard as a printer because her vagina looked like a cold cut platter. Wow, cool vagina, shouted Tails, losing his cool way because he was nervous and excited to miss class and have sex with Cream for first time. Tails took out all of his penis and balls, which were already ready, and he jumped right into her invitation-only parts. Tails jumped up and down with his penis inside her, cheering like a boy teen and shaking his fist in the air like the Rocky movies. And Cream was happy because she was not a love expert too. Tails' penis kept getting bigger, and Cream's vagina was already pretty much full of his penis. Make more room, we've got company, screamed Tails, and then he was able to stick his balls in too, under his penis. Tails fit so much genitals into Cream that it looked like there was an upside-down couch sofa in her vagina. Tails shook around like a crazy, and Cream was slapping her hands and ears on the doors and cleaning supplies in the closet. Cream was now trying to make him even more sex-powered by pulling on her boobs far enough out to touch his face like two big melty gummy bears on her body.
Eat from these.
Screamed Cream, and her voice was breaking like a talking toy that had one of its batteries halfway out, and my brother spilled juice on it. It was her voice was breaking like a talking toy that had one of its batteries halfway out, and my brother spilled juice on it so it wouldn't work right anymore. Tails sucked on her boobies while his penis was still in her and got all of the stuff out like he was eating yogurt only with his mouth, and it supercharged him with sex. Ah! Ready? Yelled Tails to Cream, and before she could say a thing, Tails started waving his flying tails, and he flew up with his penis still inside her and pointing his penis up so that she went up and was now stuck against the ceiling. I'm about to make my semen. Get ready, said Tails loud over the sound of his own tails was making. Tails flew his tails even harder, and Cream got pushed into the metal ceiling so hard that it made a dent. And then Tails' penis shot a gallon of his own New England clam chowder into her first-time vagina. It got over full and spilled plenty on the ground, and not both of them cared. Tails slowed down his tail speed, and his penis got smaller, and so did her vagina, and they both were out of breath.
This guy is well cultured. He's Bangladesh, New England chowder. This guy got it all.
I despise how he keeps making He keeps comparing cum to various food products, and it's fucking. I hate it.
I also love him just ranting about his brother spilling juice over some batteries randomly in the middle of the sex scene.
The most uncalled for fourth wall break ever is so funny.
We are true boyfriend and girlfriend now,
said Cream and hugged Tails. Tails was so happy and shocked that he became true boyfriend and girlfriend before Sonic did with Amy. Cream put her clothing back on and left, and Tails put on his too. Then he looked at his penis and saw a golden ring on it. What is this? What is this doing on here? A big gold ring, said Tails, and he took off the bracelet off his penis. Why was this in Cream's vagina? He thought about it because he was smart and remembered where he saw this thing. At the end of school, Tails ran to Sonic privately and said, Sonic, look.
What's that?
Said Sonic to Tails.
A big gold ring? Cool, let's sell it for cash.
No, said Tails to Sonic. This is Amy's bracelet, and I found it in Cream's vagina.
What?
Said Sonic to Tails.
How did this get in there?
He took the ring and he had it. I can only think of one thing, said Tails to Tails. I do not mean to suggest this to you and say that she's being a bad girlfriend, but maybe Amy was giving Cream hand sex.
What? No way!
Shouted Sonic to Tails.
But that is the only thing that makes sense. Amy cheated on me. That loose woman, she is a concubine and a bitch.
Sonic got madder than Tails ever saw him get mad and ran off fast. Sonic did not know where he was running to, and to be real, he was not running anywhere. He was running in a really big circle around the town and crying and screaming because Amy cheating on him made him feel worse than anything. Sonic ran around for hours until all of his feelings were out, and he was tired from running and being sad and mad and feelings that are hard to say what they are. He stopped and said,
There is only one thing that can make this situation better. I have to tell Amy that I know. Maybe she will say she is sorry.
Sonic went back to high school and over to the detention room. The security guard was standing outside, but Sonic used his sonic speed to run over to him and gut punch him so hard in the throat that it closed up for a while, and he became unconscious. Sonic took a key off from the ring. Took his keys. Wait, hold up. Sonic took a key from off his keys thing and opened the door to the detention room and saw Amy and Rouge in the corner. Amy and Rouge were both sleeping, and they both looked really skinny and hungry. It made their boobs look bigger, but they also looked steps from death. They had been in detention for days now, and they had not eaten or drinking at all. Sonic looked at Amy and felt bad for her.
It would be so easy to have sex with her right now,
said Sonic behind his face, in his head, not out loud.
We could become true boyfriend and girlfriend, and I could pretend like none of this did happen.
Sonic thought about it a little bit, and even gave his chubby boob Gave his chubby blue penis a toss back and forth like a baseball in a sock.
But no, we would not really be true. Not when she cheated on me.
Sonic got ready to wake Amy up and show her the her bracelet. Okay, we do have to talk. We do have to talk about this.
I would just like to say, guys, listen, I'm sorry. I'm having some like congestion issues, so my voices aren't as consistent. They weren't that consistent to begin with, but they're definitely not as consistent this time.
Buddy, I want to give you big props on two things here. Your SPO voice and Shadow voice have only proven to be more and more true. And you you must have read ahead because SBO's voice is perfect for him. I don't remember what he said earlier. He said ball problem. He didn't say balls problem. He said ball problem. And I was like, yep, that's SBO. And the MJ Shadow just brings me so much joy to my cold dead heart. And also, secondly, earlier in the last stream, you said, is detention just prison? And it turns out you were absolutely correct. Detention in Sonic High School is just prison.
Yeah, I was wondering why they had to give away the kids just to go to detention. I didn't realize detention was like, yeah, you go there for like 6 days and you just starve. They don't even feed you. That's worse than prison. They're in like the gulag.
We've had a sex scene every single chapter. Sonic fucked the lunch lady, then Tails fucked Cream, and then wasn't there a sex scene just last time? Wasn't there just a sex scene?
I don't know, but well, not really. It was him hitting his head on Vector's dick, and then Vector came. It was kind of a sex scene almost, but I would like to say it's kind of wacky that Tails. I mean, like, if this was a hentai, he'd be breaking through like the little you know what I mean, the little hole thing with the way he was going, because that was some forceful shit. I mean, he dented a metal ceiling. Why is the ceiling metal? I don't know. That's kind of an odd ceiling, not gonna lie. But yeah.
He also put his balls in Cream's vagina.
Yeah. Well, you know, he also, I will say, that's pretty impressive that, like, I feel like if I were, like, I guess, fisting a woman and my bracelet came off, I would be like, huh, I feel like my bracelet got lost in your coochie, but that didn't happen.
I also can't believe that he came in and said, Tails said, I think it might be. I'm not meaning to suggest that Amy did do this, but it is possible. And Sonic said that's impossible, but she definitely did. And then Brendan is now going to murder her.
Also, he thought about having sex with her while she is unconscious.
Yes.
And not only that, but his penis is basically a walking biological weapon. So
I forgot that his balls are diseased, and they turn people into stone.
Not only would he be having sex with a unconscious girl, but she would then die because of it.
Yes. Sonic does not have the best morals in Hughes School at all. He's got terrible morals. We cannot trust Sonic.
Okay, real quick. The summary that not the author wrote, but the people that posted this on whatever this was posted on, the little thing they wrote, they said, for some reason, I read this chapter with this Halloween in my head. I don't know why, and anyone who asks is dodecahedronal gay. What does that mean?
Dodecahedronal gay. Super gay.
Is that a real word?
I don't know what the sentence before that means. I think he's trying to say dodecahedron, but he didn't bother trying to spell it correctly because he's a beast.
What the fuck is dodecahedron?
Dodecahedron is a 3D shape.
So you're a 3D gay?
I mean, that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, I can't believe Silver's reporting us, by the way.
Is that true? Is he actually reporting people? Silver, no. I do gotta put some respect on Hyper Supersonic showing up for this stream. What's up, buddy? He's losing his mind. He's having a lot of fun, man. We love Hyper Supersonic. Oh god.
What's the author's note for this upcoming chapter? It says, "I am so happy because it is now summer now." See, okay, it's definitely not a bit. He can't even write the author's notes good. It is now summer now. Woohoo! I am done with school for this year, but here I come, 8th grade. Also, I will be away on a vacation next week, so I will not be able to write another chapter until after I am back from being on vacation. Sorry.
Sorry. All right, buddy, you want to read it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get into it, buddy.
Does this one have a title outside of chapter 20?
I don't believe so. It does not seem to be that way.
All right, chapter 20, everyone. Wake up!
Said Sonic to Amy as he kicked her a little on the ground where she was lying, looking like a dead woman, but she was not actually dead.
Wake up!
Amy opened her eyes and blinked and rubbed her eyes, and then she sat up a little. Sonic, she said in a voice like a person who was living poorly, is that you? Amy looked so old and dead from being in detention. It looked like she did not eat or drink at all in a week.
Yes, it is. Now listen,
said Sonic angrily to Amy, who was still on the ground looking up while looking dying.
Do you know where I found this?
Sonic held out Amy's big gold bracelet in her hand that she was not wearing, so it must have been hers. What? Said Amy to Sonic, looking confused and tired. That is mine. Where did you find that? Amy coughed and sounded like diseased African kids.
Wow, idiot. I just asked you that.
said Sonic to Amy in an angry and annoyed way.
So you are not going to tell me where this bracelet was?
I don't know, said Amy to Sonic with a crackling, soundy voice.
It was up in Cream's vagina. That is where,
said Sonic to Amy.
Why was your jewelry in another girl's vagina?
Screamed Sonic. I, said Amy, trying to say what she wanted to in response to Sonic.
Say you are sorry to me,
shouted Sonic at Amy. No, Sonic, said Amy in still a slow, dying way like that.
Fuck you! If you are not going to say you are sorry for cheating with me on another girl's vagina, then we are done,
shouted Sonic with all of his rage running out of his mouth like a train full of swords. Sonic did not even notice he was crying, which was out of his eyes. Sonic, don't, said Amy like a weakling, but before she could say the rest of her words, Sonic ran out of the detention room and shot down the door behind them, so they were still in there, and he did not rescue them. Sonic ran fast as he could to his home and slammed his door behind him and screamed into his bed and cried and punched things and was just so emotional. Sonic could not take all of this pain from being betrayed by his girlfriend, this person he was one day going to get married to and have children with and live in a house with and be together. Sonic knew it was not fair that this would happen and that he also had the deadliest disease in the world and would end up dying before everyone else. He cut his wrists a little. I don't remember fucking reading that one, man. He cut his wrist a little, but did not do too much because it was dangerous, like he said in a presentation at school. Sonic cried so hard that he fell asleep and then woke up a little while later and looked in the mirror at himself. He did not want to see him anymore, because that was all about him being ruined by other people, even when he was the nicest to everyone. Sonic reached into his drawers and pulled out a black hair dye.
Sonic becoming Shadow?
Sonic pulled up the bathtub with this dye and looked like a portal to evil world. Proper noun, evil world. And then he took a bath in it. And when he came out, all of his fur was black. There was no blue on him anymore, anywhere. He looked like Shadow, but only similar. Sonic looked into the mirror again, now that he was not blue anymore. He did not say anything, but only looked at himself and looked angrily, but not at himself, but at everyone else. The fuck does that sentence mean? That's nothing. That's a nothing sentence. Then Sonic jumped out of his bedroom window instead of going around and down and using the front door. It was bad, like something Shadow would do. Sonic ran to the tattoo store and looked at their tattoos. They were all gay. He did not see one that he wanted. But then he went to the tattoo man and threatened him until he let him into the secret back room of tattoos for free. There were a lot of cool, bad tattoos in the back room, like ones with guns and cigarettes and motorcycles and middle fingers, and also some with curse words on them. But Sonic knew which one he wanted finally when he saw it. Sonic got
Fuck girls.
tattooed right across his chest because he was sick of being ruined by girls like Amy and Cream, who let Amy into her vagina, so it was her fault too. Sonic ran back home and waited for the next day, punching and kicking things the whole time like a badass. It was now the next day of high school, and new Black Sonic went to school, looking like an angry black man instead of a nice blue man like he was every other day. This was a new Sonic, and everyone better watch out because he is sick of the world. Shadow was walking in the hallway, and he saw Sonic.
Hey, Sonic.
Said Shadow to Sonic.
What is up with your new black fur?
Don't talk to me.
Said Sonic in a voice darker than Shadow when he was committing crimes. He sounded so angry.
What, are you trying to copy off me now?
Shadow laughed and smiled, saying this to Sonic. Sonic gave him one look, and almost like being black gave him powers. Sonic punched Shadow right in the mouth on his face, and Shadow went flying across the room and hit the wall and was all bloody. Sonic kept walking like nothing happened at all. But other people were now looking and were becoming scared of the new Black Sonic. So Sonic went to all his classes and did not talk to anyone. Even Miss Lesson and the other teachers looked afraid of Sonic because he was now scary. Sonic did do some things, though, like shove a teenage idiot into his locker and then punch a student who had autism for laughing at him. Sonic did not go to lunch, though. He just went outside to where no one was and masturbated on his penis and thought about his angry feelings, which were like giant bees flying around on fire. Then Tails came outside. Sonic, I was looking for you, and I found you. Why are you not at lunch? Said Tails to Sonic, who was sitting on a curb thing. Why?
Leave me alone.
Said Sonic to Tails in an angry way like before. Are you mad? Said Tails to Sonic.
I said leave me alone.
Said Sonic to Tails, and he threw a rock at him. The rock missed Tails, and Tails went over to Sonic. No, Sonic, you are my best friend, said Tails to Sonic. Tell me what's wrong. Why are you black? Sonic looked mad and frustrated, but let off a little and opened up to Tails like a book opening.
Fine. That bitch Amy, who is not my girlfriend anymore, would not say sorry to me, so I broke up with her. Also, he ate out the lunch lady.
He did. He thought to himself she would be okay with this.
You're right. You're right.
Said Sonic to Tails, but Sonic was not looking at Tails and was looking at the ground. Oh my god! Panic! Said Tails to Sonic. He was looking at Sonic, though.
No. I am over her. I am different now. I have learned about the world, and I am not so stupid and happy like I used to be. I am black now.
Sonic said to Tails, sounding still angry even though he was talking to Tails. Oh, okay, said Tails, sounding sad and disappointed. I just wanted to make sure that you are okay. Espio was worried about you too. He also said Knuckles might fail out of high school because he is now a baby and is having the hardest time doing classes as a baby. I brought you a sandwich. Tails gave the sandwich to Sonic, and he ate it like a rhino chewing up a bag of humans. And when he finished the sandwich, the next period started, and Sonic and Tails went to the rest of their classes. Sonic then went home at the end of the day and lied, Lied, down on his bed and looked up.
Fuck everyone.
Though Sonic, inside of his head, not saying it out loud.
Fuck the world. I'm gonna die. No one cares about me.
Sonic just lied, Lied, and thought about then, and then did a workout to become big and strong. Sonic sat down at the end of it, tired and sweaty, but now strong,
What can I do?
thought Sonic.
Wait, Amy and Rouge gets out of detention tomorrow.
Sonic looked at his body in front of him and then said,
I'm gonna make that bitch pay.
and that's chapter 20, my friends.
You know what I've noticed about Sonic this chapter?
What have you noticed about Sonic this chapter?
He's like a person, but darker.
He's like a person, only darker. No, I agree. He really is.
Also, author's note for the next chapter is, wow, I am back. I see that I have earned some haters while I was away leaving mean reviews. But just so you all know, this story is rated M and is for mature audiences only. Just because you do not get or understand adult material does not mean you should pass judgment on it. So keep on hating on haters, because I'm going to finish this story because it is so popular. If you leave a nice reviews, thank you.
He's got such a way with words, man. Sonic
Is
is
the rhino based or cringe? Who's the rhino? Did I miss something?
No, Sonic was eating the sandwich like a rhino eating a bag full of humans.
Oh.
Which, again, I don't know what that means either.
Have you never seen a rhino eat a bag full of humans?
I mean, yeah, fair. Hey, caught.
Dude.
Fair.
You clearly didn't grow up watching Animal Planet TV shows like I did. Dogs 101, Meerkat Manor, Cats 101, The Crocodile Hunter. Get on, dude. Get on.
We've made this point a few times at this point, but I think that this chapter is truly, I mean, like, Sonic has been irredeemable for most of the story, but he for no reason punched a kid with autism for laughing at him.
Well, that is the reason.
I
laughed.
mean, like,
Deserved.
Sonic does not have the best morals in Hugh's school.
Autism isn't an excuse for you to do whatever you want. All right.
I'm imagining that Sonic he wasn't even laughing at Sonic. He was just laughing and Sonic was like, fuck you, and then beat the shit out of that guy. Like, he not only thought about raping his girlfriend, who was unconscious in jail,
and killing her because of his condition.
I keep forgetting that whoever he has sex with, he's gonna kill. At this point, like, he really is irredeemably a bad character. He's so evil.
But the character wants to be him so bad.
I know. The author wants to be Sonic.
Yeah, because he's every time he's like, Sonic's the coolest, fastest, bestest ever. Second to none. So cool. And then, like, he just is making it overly obvious that he's like, I want to be Sonic.
I can't. Okay. Now we know that Sonic is evil. I think that's a pretty good segue, right? Into our next chapter. Chapter 21, Evil and Bad. Sonic woke up out of his bed and onto the floor and was still angry. Now Sonic was Black Sonic, and he had a tattoo. Sonic got ready for school by putting on scary things, like chains and spiky collars, and that made him look bad, and went to high school. Sonic went to his classes, but did not know what to do. Did not do what he was told to do in class. He did not talk to anyone, and instead, he went on the computer and looked at videos of cigarettes and knives. Sonic then arrived near the lunchroom, which is where they were having lunch, Sonic's friends. Sonic just looked in from outside while everyone was inside, and no one was outside. But Sonic, like an alive snowman that looks in your window on Christmas, Sonic saw Amy and Rouge looking still skinny but now eating food in such a happy way. Sonic could hear them talking. Wow, I am so glad that we are out of detention, said Amy to Rouge.
Yes, thanks to Silver, we've escaped from detention,
Said Rouge to Amy. It looked like Silver did the hero thing to do and saved Amy and Rouge from detention, and now they were out. Sonic was not happy about it, though, being black.
Haggard bitches.
Said Sonic to the window next to the door that he was looking through into the lunchroom from outside. Sonic saw Tails and Espio and all the other people go over to Amy and Rouge, laughing and smiling that he hung out with before he turned black. Then he got mad and sad and left. Sonic walked by the lunchroom's food area, which was a different room attached to the lunchroom, where there was a separate door that you could get into this part where the food was made. Sonic walked by and looked in, and the lunch lady was there, giving food to all the teenagers. And she saw Sonic and looked surprised at how he looked now with black fur and tattoo. But then she got over it and waved and smiled. Sonic looked away and kept walking, and behind him the lunch lady looked sad and disappointed and worried. Sonic left school completely, which is really bad and will get you in big trouble, and went to the Chinese restaurant. Sonic got some Chinese food and ate it, and with his food came a magical fortune cookie where there's a piece of paper inside with a magical fortune on it that tells the future. Sonic opened the cookie and ate the cookie, but kept the paper and said,
"You will not have any friends if you are black."
Sonic thought about what it said and wondered what it could mean and what it could mean for him, because it was so mysterious, always reading these cookies and their messages. After Sonic went back to school and missed one of his classes, but went to the next one, but on the way into high school, the hall man tried to stop Sonic, but Sonic punched him right in the face so hard that he almost died and got past him. Sonic finished school the next... Oh my lord, 1 second. Sonic finished his school day and then went home and punched things, leaving holes in everything that showed he was stronger than everyone now. Sonic also looked at porn that was not like he usually did. Now with things like Africans and dragons, Sonic was becoming so scary. Even though he was very scary now as Black Sonic, his balls were still the same and did not get cured. It became night in the world, but Sonic did not go to sleep like a normal person. In fact, it got really dark out. Sonic got out of his room from the window and left, because Sonic was black now, so no one could see him in the dark unless you looked pacifically hard just for Sonic. But who was going to do that? Sonic left and went to the neighborhood and bought drugs, like marijuana, and ate some of them and kept the rest in his pocket. Sonic had
Can
really...
you spell out marijuana for him real quick? How it was spelled? I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, check this one out. They spelled it marijuana MAROWANA. And let the record show, he did eat them. He did eat the marijuanas. Second, everyone's saying I reported you in chat. It's really funny. Sonic had really changed now from being one of the best morals to the ones with the worst. Like a seagull becoming angry because it would not get any breadcrumbs in the parking lot? What the fuck does that mean, man? Sonic moved on from the bad neighborhood to where he wanted to go to next. Amy's house. Sonic's brain was now being controlled by drugs and was becoming even worse than when he was just black. Sonic went to Amy's window and looked into it and saw her sleeping on the bed like a DVD not being used. His head filled up with anger, but it was like a way that he actually became kind of happy and angry and laughed, like he wanted to do something bad to her. Sonic looked down at his tattoos and said,
"Fuck girls."
And it reminded him of what he had done to her.
What she had done to him.
What she had done to him, sorry. Sonic was so evil that he punched through the window and ran fast right to Amy's bed, and she started to wake up a little from being in sleep mode. Her eyes were just blinking a little, and she obviously could not see well at all, and especially could not see Sonic because it was dark and he was now black, which was just like camouflaged. CAMOFLODGE. Sonic just grinned at her with an evil look, and just as she started to open her eyes and see his white eyes above her, he punched her right in the face. Amy was now in a lot of pain, but still confused and surprised, and thought maybe she was nightmaring. But no, it was real. And new Black Sonic, on drugs, was about to beat all of her shit out of her.
Fuck you, girl!
He screamed but still smiled and punched her more in the face until all of her teeth got knocked out and she was like a grandma who could only eat pudding and not steak. Amy was now screaming and crying, but he stuck a thing in her mouth and she couldn't do anything. He was so mad and under the powers of marijuana, MAROWANA, and
How's that? Is that a real word? Because it's not highlighted red.
I think because he capitalized it, it's fine. I think they think it's like someone's name. And he looked at her, and she looked so afraid and scared, but he was still smiling and angry. Sonic's black rage was coming out through his fist with violence. But then, all of a sudden, Amy kicked her foot up and hit Sonic right in the balls. Thank God, because the blankets were over Amy's foot as she did this, so she did not touch Sonic's ball disease. It still hurt very much, though, and he fell off her bed and was in pain from being hit in the balls, which is the most powerful spot on a man, so it hurts you the hardest because it is like the information superhighway of your body. Sonic hurt so much from this that it was like a hit to his brain, and all the drugs fell off of his brain. Sonic suddenly looked around him and saw he was in Amy's room, but ran over to the bed, kind of knowing what just happened, but wondering if it was a dream like Amy was thinking, but it was not. Sonic was lying over Amy's body, and they were both perfectly still like a couple of candy canes, but one was sitting on an invisible bench over the other. Their THERE eyes were both so big as they looked at each other, both scared and shocked at what it was that was happening. Amy's mouth was all bloody and no teeth was in it, like a hole that went straight from China, but instead it was to her boobs and then vagina. Sonic and Amy did not say anything either. Sonic suddenly looked sad and scared and got off her bed and backed away toward the side of the room and ran out of it. Sonic was surprised. Hold the fucking phone. Sonic was feeling so many feelings, being scared and sad and shocked and surprised. He could feel little baby tears at the side of his eyes, like Jewish people being thrown up in the air at a bar mitzvah. He ran and ran as fast as he could straight down the road. He ran out of town and through the forest like a deer that could use a car and to the edge of the forest where there was a giant cliff. Sonic ran off the edge of the cliff in order to die.
Damn.
I'm speechless, man.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even take the time to talk to her when she wasn't dying, I guess, and be like, hey, do you think you can kind of explain now? Yeah. Instead, he just went straight black, started doing drugs.
You ever get so high you punch all of the teeth out of your girlfriend's mouth? You ever do that before, buddy?
Ex-girlfriend, because she's a whore.
Ex-girlfriend, because she's a loose woman and a concubine.
Yeah, that was fisting another woman.
Okay, theory time. Do you think that he fucked, or do you think that Amy did fuck Cream?
Well, no, because he's like apologized, and she's like, Sonic, no, I So I'm assuming that was implying that didn't happen.
So you think
But,
that she isn't a loose woman and a concubine? You think she's an honorable, decent
Uh,
woman?
I don't know about that. But I'm not sure if she fisted Creamy or not. I don't know. And if she did, I mean, what's the big deal? He also put his entire head into the lunch lady's coochie, so
He did put his entire fucking head into a lunch lady's vagina. Okay, listen, yeah, Balkef, you make a good point, and I thought about that when I read that. Sonic wasn't home and said, "Wait, Amy and Rouge get out of detention tomorrow," and then it's revealed that Silver broke Amy and Rouge out of detention. So did he know that Silver was gonna break them out of detention, or did Silver just do that for fun? Did Sonic know that Silver was gonna do it? I don't know. I don't know. And it is weird that Silver did that too, because it kind of doesn't make like we don't know really anything about Silver besides he's kind of gay because he dresses nicely, but like that's kind of it. It doesn't really make any sense. Silver was busy
I read a
recording.
little bit of this first paragraph and it's really funny.
The first sentence is crazy. Okay, so yeah.
I like the second one that I have to read, which by the way, it's not perfectly highlighted.
I
So
know,
just
I
letting
know.
giving you a heads up that I gotta read starting from
Yeah. Okay, also, just so you guys know, this week, I had to get my car worked on, so I was sitting in a mechanic's shop in the lobby, and I had my laptop, and I was working on these slides on my laptop. And so the entire time, I'm sitting there working on this shit, and there's just like, 80-year-old normal people just watching me fucking draw like Sonic characters and Simpsons characters on the Photoshop. I felt like a fucking crazy person. But I do it for you.
You're good at drawing, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Those were good.
This
I didn't know you drew some of those.
This YouTuber still draws Simpsons characters the old-fashioned way. You know what I'm saying?
Also, where did you find a picture of the Simpsons lunch lady, sipping on that ladle?
That
was pretty good.
That's her picture from the Simpsons Wikipedia page.
Oh, okay.
Oh, 1 second. I actually realized that there's something that needs to not be on the next page. There's some reveal. There's a lot of characters in this next scene. No one asked me a goddamn question, Leo. They let that shit go. Him beating her up is kind of a shock, knowing how he is. It really is. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, the past few chapters actually have been like kind of dramatic. I think that the authors. Now, I'm going to say something crazy. I do think his writing ability has gone up from like 0.3 to like 0.6.
Hold on. It's a shock? How is it a shock? He's talked about doing things to her while she's been tied up and asleep and
This is after
without
he's
any
black.
consent.
I didn't think that Black Sonic was going to punch all of her teeth out of her mouth like a grandma.
I mean, I've had my suspicions. Yeah, make her mouth look like a hole to China, but except to her boobs and vagina.
So much. Isn't it crazy how like we read that sentence and we're like, yeah. And chapters 1 and 3 feel so quaint now, but now knowing what we know, like we can really do anything.
Yeah. Hey, I'm ready to hit it, dude.
Okay, guys, be prepared, because this first line is gonna blow your socks right off. Chapter 22, the saddest day ever.
We are gathered here today to put Sonic into the ground.
Said the funeral man.
Sonic died. The other day, a security camera in the woods saw Sonic run off a cliff, and he fell all the way down and hit the ground at the bottom, next to the river. His body got so messed up, he is dead for sure.
Everyone was at the funeral place, which they decided to put in the garden of the school so they could bury. Bury is spelled Berry. Sonic at Sonic High School, which is where he spent most of his time as a teenager. All of Sonic's friends who were there were attending his funeral. Tails was right in front and was crying, and next to him was Amy, who was crying the most, and she was hugging Sonic's mom with her face in her boobs, who was crying too, but not so loud, like a honking horn on a bike, that she was not squeezing too hard. Everyone was so sad because Sonic is now dead. There was also Rouge and Cream, who was wearing a big ring with a really big shiny white Jew in it, and they were also crying because they are women and they cannot control.
They're emotoins.
They cannot control their emotoins. Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. were there, and they were being held and crying in a baby way. And there was Silver, who was crying a little bit, and even SBO2 was crying a little bit at the funeral where they all were. Miss Lesson was there, and she was crying, which made her look uglier, and the lunch lady was there too, and even though she was very big and strong, she cried too because Sonic is dead. Sonic's Chinese doctor was there too also. He did not cry. Hold up, I'll be right back. Someone's knocking on my door. I'm so sorry, 1 second.
Hey chat. How's it going? Pretty crazy story we got here. Sonic's dead for sure. So, big things happening. Guys having like a good day or whatever. Yeah, that's cool.
I'm sorry.
Me too.
Hunter forgot her keys at home, and so she had to let her in the door. Okay. Sonic's Chinese doctor was there too also. He did not cry because his eyes were too small to let them tears out. Charmy and Vector were not at Sonic's funeral because they were dead now. Blaze the cat was not there because no one liked her and no one invited her. Amy looked at Rouge and said to Rouge, "Rouge, where's Shadow? He said he was going to come to Sonic's funeral. He is not here." Amy sounded weird and sad, and she did not have any teeth at all, so her words came out idiotly. It was like she was a ghost who could not speak a language that humans could not understand. She usually did not talk now that she did not teeth because Sonic punched them out of her mouth and into space before he killed himself.
I do not know. It is that he could be late and that he's not here,
said Rouge back to Amy in a sad way. They were right. Shadow was not there. Shadow was dark, but even he was not dark enough to not go to Sonic's fun reel. So why was it that he was not? Tails, said Amy now to Tails instead of Rouge, who was on the other side of her, more towards the middle of it. Where's Shadow? Shadow is not here. Tails looked really sad and crying some, and even thought he is going to kill himself in a few days because he is so sad that his best friend is now his dead friend. I do not know, and it is pissing me off. I should send a robot to kill him, said Tails, sounding mad and sad. Amy made a sad and disappointing face and said, "High school drama is so crazy." Then the funeral man went back to the front and like a standing racehorse going to the front and started talking again.
Hello, family and friends and teenagers. We are going to talk about why we love Sonic so much and we miss him. Everyone, please come up and say a nice thing about Sonic so we can remember him before we put him down.
Tails got
It
up
sounds like a threat. Before we put him down.
Before we fuck him from the fucking dirt. Tails got up first and went to the spot where he was and said, "Sonic was my best friend. He was the coolest and the fastest, and he always knew what to do when we were bored and wanted to have fun. We lived in different houses, which it is like we did not, because we saw each other on the bus. I miss Sonic." Tails started to cry more, and everyone thought that was sad, and Tails went back. And then Amy and Sonic's mom both did not go because they were both crying too much, and Amy was embarrassed of her no teeth at all. Then got up Rouge, who was holding Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. like a sexy pelican, carrying 2 watermelons in its mouth.
I'm going to miss Sonic so much, said Rouge.
Said Rouge.
Said Rouge.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
going
Yeah,
to miss
no,
Sonic.
go on,
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah. I'm going to miss Sonic so much, said Rouge. He was such a cool and nice guy with the best morals, and everyone knew his penis was bigger than everyone else's. Okay.
Rouge was so sex thinking, but it was okay because it is all about saying good things about the dead person at a funeral, and everyone nodded because it was.
I'm saying that at your funeral, by the way.
He's got a big
If you die
penis,
before
too.
me, I'm gonna say Seth's penis was bigger than everyone's, and we all knew it.
My goat, my goat. Knuckles said,
Well, I am a baby now, but I've always been Sonic's friend, and I miss him and want to thank care of him for taking care of me as a baby and helping me with my schoolwork as a baby now.
and then Knuckles Jr. said,
I only knew Sonic for a few weeks, but he is the coolest guy I've ever known. He was so fast and smart and good at everything. I wish he didn't kill himself.
Then Espio went and said some more sad things, and so did Cream and Silver and the rest of everyone like a conga line of being sad. The lunch lady said that she will always miss Sonic, and that he was such a nice boy, and that she wanted to take him and his friends to see Asia. And Sonic's doctor said it might not have been so bad that Sonic died, because now his ball disease had been neutralized.
That's a crazy thing to say at a funeral. Might not be too bad. He was
Guys,
fucking ill.
there's a silver lining here.
Yeah. Don't be too sad.
By the time that everyone was done saying things about Sonic, they were all so tired from crying and hungry that they needed to stop and have some food. They had caramel because Sonic really liked it. After that time, he had it on vacation. And they had soda because it always made them smile. Soda makes bubbles, and it is cool because how do they do it? But still, even after all they did this, Shadow is not here. And some people thought that was rude, and Tails was about ready to find him and cut his homo throat. Shadow is Shadow
Dude,
is
it's
still
so
not
much funnier
here.
to say homo than like the slur that they've said before. Homo is such a. I love that.
His homo throat.
Yeah.
Shadow is still not here, said Tails, just out loud to everyone and not really anyone. What the heck?
Okay,
said the funeral man.
stop eating. We're gonna put Sonic into the ground forever.
I love it. He says, stop eating, like, can't wait. Hey, okay, one sec. Stop eating. We gotta do this shit right now. Everyone started to yelp and cry because that meant Sonic would never come back because you would get so tired digging him up that you would quit even if he was alive. Everyone went back to the sitting zone and sat in chairs, and the funeral man and his dead person workers picked up the coffin, spelled with a K, like it was only a cotton candy suitcase, and lifted it over the big hole in the ground they made for Sonic.
Okay, here he goes.
Said the funeral man.
Also, Sonic's name was spelled Sonbic.
Wait, when? Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Sonbic.
Yeah.
Said the funeral man, and they dropped the coffin, again spelled with a K, into the hole, and it made a loud sound.
No, wait.
Said a voice from the back. And would you guess it? It was Shadow, who was now here at the funeral, finally here after it was almost done, and he said,
I have to say something about my friend before you cover him with the dirt.
Shadow walked up to the front, and Tails reached out and punched him right in the balls as he was walking by, and it put Shadow's balls out of business. Don't be late. Why are you late? That is so mean to Sonic and everyone, said Tails screamingly. Shadow was going backwards in pain because his balls felt like 2 apples getting eaten by birds.
Ow, I'm sorry. Listen, I have a reason. Just listen.
Said Shadow back in pain to Tails. Everyone pretty much agreed with Tails on punching Shadow to show how to respect. But Silver said that he should listen to people before doing something, and the lunch lady said that sometimes you should just be nice instead of being mean, and people will learn the lesson anyway. So even though Tails is the smartest sometimes, he gets a little crazy, and other people can teach him things that he did not know, but he is still the smartest. Shadow finished being in super ball pain and went to speaking area and said,
Listen, everyone. Sonic, who died, has always been my friend. I may be a dark guy, and I may disagree with Sonic sometimes, but but he is always my friend, and I miss him so much, even though it has only been a few days since he jumped off the big cliff and messed up his body to death. But I have something I think everyone will all like.
Shadow took out a bag that looked glowing from it.
I spent my whole I spent my whole life collecting the Ultra Chaos Emeralds, and these are them. What they do is grant you one wish when you use them, and then you have to go hide them before you die. After 100 years, someone else can find them and use them. Well, it is time that they are used once again.
Shadow held the bag of them up in the air and said,
Ultra Chaos Emeralds, I call upon the gods and use you to bring the powers down and give them to me to grant my wish. I wish.
and then he did a dramatic stop, and everyone looked shocked and amazed and surprised at what he was going to wish for. What would Shadow wish for? Is it going to be a lot of money? Shadow raised his face up.
I wish to bring Sonic back to healthy life.
The bag glowed really hard, and everyone was making a big deal and talking and going around. The funeral man and his people got up Sonic's coffin out of the hole and put it back in front of everyone. The funeral man used his tool to open the coffin, and there was Sonic. He talked to him, shook him, and checked for a heartbeat. But no, fairy tales are not real, and Sonic was dead.
Real quick, it said checked for a hard beat. He was checking for the next fucking Kanye mixtape or something. I don't know.
He was. There's so much shit. I'm not. It's getting going right by me,
Yeah.
buddy. Let's just roll. Let's just
Yeah.
roll right through it. That's also when I read it the first time, I laughed for like a full 15 minutes. They build it up. They're gonna save Sonic. Nah, he's still dead.
Yeah, sorry, everyone. Fairy tales don't exist. Put him back down.
Chapter 23. What went wrong?
Wow, I feel like such an idiot.
Said Shadow inside of him to himself, not speaking out loud.
I thought I could revive Sonic from being dead, but I could not.
Shadow tried using the Ultra Chaos Emeralds to make Sonic alive for another time, but he definitely did not. Shadow made a big deal out of it, and then everyone yelled at Shadow, and throwed their shoes at him for being an ass. Now Sonic is way down on the ground and dead, so he has to keep going and figure out the rest of high school. Shadow went home by walking, because taking Omega would have just made it too much longer to get Sonic's funeral. So he went by walking. Shadow walked home, and now that he was there safely without getting hit by any cars at all, Shadow went up into his house and into his bedroom. It was all black and red place, like a volcano inside. It looked dark and cool, but not scary like a haunted house, which is scary. It has ghosts. Shadow grabbed his sack and looked at his jewels, and then he put them on his bed. Shadow looked at them, the Ultra Chaos Emeralds.
Wow, they are so pretty and big, but why did they not work?
Said Shadow. Shadow looked at them more, further, and then he screamed because something was shocking to him. He knew what was wrong with the crystals, and what it was that one of them was missing. It was easy to see now that they were not in his bag because one was missing, was the white one, which looks less colored than the rest of them because it is not powerful in color like red, yellow, or green.
Shit,
Screamed Shadow at his bed, where the things were.
where is the last crystal? I cannot find it. It is not here. Where did it go?
Shadow was screaming and going positively nuts about it all. Shadow felt like a mother kangaroo who lost her baby after it left her front pocket and left it behind in the jungle, where there were dangerous things that would eat it because the crystal was so cool looking and big that anyone would take it if they saw it, even though the laws said that if something is there, you have to bring it to the police so they can take it and show it to everyone to see if it is theirs. And if it is, they can have it because without being nervous due to losing it. Shadow was so pissed that this did not happen even though he lost it.
I have to find it.
Screamed Shadow like an opera singer seeing a ghost. Shadow quick went to Omega, in parentheses, the name of Shadow's car, and got in and touched him to make the map appear.
Omega, set your trackers to find the last Ultra Chaos Emerald because it is lost.
Omega made all kinds of beeping and computer noises, sounding like a bag of technology.
Beep, beep, boop. Here it is,
said Omega to Shadow, sitting him in the driver's seat, and on Omega's map screen came a red dot that said the last Chaos Emerald was there. It is not in the cityscape like before, now it was much closer, so Shadow drove fast. Shadow finished and got to the house where the red dot was beeping about.
Wow, it is a house.
Said Shadow.
Does that mean that someone stole the Ultra Chaos Emerald and put it in their house? Is this true?
Shadow got out of his car and went to the side of the house, which was only a little dark outside because it was not late enough, or at night, to be the darkest possible. So Shadow went to the window and looked inside. It looked normal, not like a crazy place. Shadow climbed up the side of the house and to a window that looked like it was where the dot was coming from, and Shadow opened the window and broke inside.
Ow, ass,
said Shadow as he got in, hurting his foot a little. Didn't hear it. There it is, yes. Screamed the person who was there in the room that Shadow broke into.
Cream.
Screamed Shadow at Cream. Who was it?
Shadow, what are you doing here? Should not you be making a big fool out of yourself at the circus? Like you were trying to do at Sonic's funeral? There was so much disrespect coming from you.
Cream stomped her feet and made a pissed face at him.
No, Cream, you do not see,
said Shadow, thinking, but like an idiot, so it came out and saying,
a
bunch, sounding not correct.
What? What do you want? If it is nothing, please leave my home before I call the police.
Said Cream to Shadow.
I am here to seduce you.
Said Shadow, finally deciding upon a thing. Shadow took out his big black cool penis. It was smoking at the end like it was just finished getting ready for a big sex opportunity.
My God, Shadow,
said Cream, looking shocked.
What?
Shadow felt a little nervous, but did not let it show on his face or his torrid genitals.
Yes, Cream, I want to pay for all of your children to go to school, but first we have to make some children, and I'm going to do that right in your vagina, okay?
Cream looked a little hesitant at first, but then said,
You know, I accept this. I know I am true boyfriend and girlfriend with Tails, but I feel bad for you when he kicked you at the funeral, and I want to make you feel better.
Said Cream, putting on a wink with her eyes. Cream took of her clothes, and then fell out 2 boobs and a vagina.
Wow, you look so sexy.
Said Shadow, pretending to think she is the hottest. Shadow took his penis and planted it right in her mouth.
First, we will do this.
Shadow put his penis into Cream's mouth and put it in and out, and tried to see how far he could stick it in. Shadow's penis was so big it looked pregnant. It almost looked like an anaconda having a lunch at Subway. Shadow got so far, He almost filled up her lungs and she was coughing. Ellen was holding on to her vagina for dear life because it was so sexy. To her, it felt like she was trying to eat too many pixie sticks. To Shadow, it felt like he was trying to sharpen a pencil. Shadow's penis was really big around, like an air-conditioned vent in just a building. It was hard for Cream to get a word in edgewise, but when she did, it was when Shadow took his penis out for only a tiny moment in geologic time and screamed.
Chad, I am drowning in the power of your penis. I am so in love.
And then Shadow stuck his ridiculous penis in her mouth, and she would be like a prisoner with handcuffs on her throat.
You embarrass me,
said Shadow, smiling. Then Shadow took his penis out and picked Cream up.
Let me charge up for a super ejaculation.
Shadow laid Cream down on the ground and then took his penis with him, which was already huge and shaking with sex energy, and then found Cream's piggy bank, which was full of coins and dollars and things to save up for money, so she could buy what she wanted, and when she had enough inside of it. Then Shadow took it and, using his muscular penis, smashed a hole right through the piggy bank, so now it was sitting on top of his penis like a hat. Shadow's penis looked like it belonged in a fashion show.
What are you doing?
Said Cream, was confused, but sounded so happy from doing sex still that she was smiling and laughing. Shadow lifted her head up so that she could see his big, heavy piggy bank on his penis, but not wagging because his penis was so strong.
Did they even fuck? He just used her mouth?
Yes, I know.
Why is she so happy then?
I don't know. She couldn't breathe, man.
I'm sorry. It took me like a whole minute to send my message in chat. So like while you were reading that, I kind of
Yes,
it took me a while to type
sir.
that out.
Yes,
So I typed
sir.
like a child. Okay. I am doing. Oh man, I forgot how to do my Shadow voice now. I'm losing it.
I'm doing this for good, Cream. Sorry.
Then Shadow swung his penis at her head on the side like a hammer and hit the piggy bank into her head and knocked her unconscious. Cream was now on the floor, not responding to life, and Shadow took the piggy bank off his penis and stuck his penis into her vagina to finish his boner ejaculation. Shadow rammed his penis back and forth because she was not responding and using her vagina to make his penis feel better. He had to do all the sex, and he stuck his penis so far up that he accidentally bumped her hard with his penis, but she was still okay. Shadow's tumescent penis finally exploded into an ejaculation, and 999 screaming ghosts rushed out of his penis like he was opening Panera's box and flew through her body and out her mouth and escaped into the atmosphere and left stains on the carpet.
Didn't realize she was a pillow princess.
Jesus.
I mean, she's not doing anything with her.
She's a
coochie.
victim. She's unconscious.
Oh, is she?
Yes.
I missed that part.
He knocked her unconscious.
Oh, and then he blamed her. She's not even doing anything. I had to fucking ram it back and forth because she's just laying there.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay, now it is time for what I really came for.
Said Shadow out loud. Shadow did not even bother putting his penis back where he found it. Did not even bother putting his penis back where he found it, and instead went to work for looking for the Ultra Chaos Emerald. He looked through all of her things and even behind pictures and posters. Cream had a lot of posters on her walls of things teenage women like, such as famous boy band One Sonic Direction and famous television show like Gossip Sonic and Pretty Little Sonic and I Sonic, and famous books like Sonic Twilight and 50 Shades of Sonic. Shadow looked through all of these things, and even in her lip gloss and purse full of teen girl blood diapers, and could not find it. Then he got to her jewelry cabinet and opened it. And there he saw a big ring with a big jewel that Cream was wearing at Sonic's funeral. And it was actually the Ultra Chaos Emeralds.
Yes, I found it. How did this get here?
shouted Shadow, picking up the ring and taking the Ultra Chaos Emerald out of the ring and into his hand. Then Sonic, Shadow, Christ, then Shadow. Then when Shadow was standing there with Cream unconscious on the floor and filled with filled with nudity and his fat penis hanging down from his body like a dog going down the stairs and a big shiny crystal in his hand, Tails flew into the window and thusly the room. Tails heartily even looked at the situation and said, "It is okay. I know exactly what's going on."
Okay, that's end of chapter. I have to say that there's going to be something that happens in this chapter that I am going to have to turn on the stream and listen to. So there will probably, and since there's a delay, there will probably be a portion where I'm not speaking afterwards because I'm watching the stream as well to catch up on this. I just want to point that out
All right, buddy.
beforehand. Do we want to read the not the author's note, but the site that posted this note?
Yes.
Okay. Contains a song that's worse than all the sex scenes combined.
And boy, oh boy, I hope we did it justice. Chapter 24, Tails' Song. No, hold on, because there's actually a time skip here. So here we go. Tails was sitting in the back of the car, where Amy was sitting in the front seat where you do not drive it, and Sonic's mom was sitting in the front seat on the left, where you do drive it. This car was an SUV. They were all dressed in nice clothes because they were driving back to Sonic's house from Sonic's funeral. Tails looked like a secret agent because he was wearing a suit, but he must have been the saddest secret agent ever. "I'm so sad," said Amy in a crying way, sounding like the complete collection of teen idiot quotes because she did not have teeth. She was only talking now that there were not people. Now, 1 second. She was only talking now that there were most people not in the car. "I know you are, and so am I. Tails, are you sad?" said Sonic's mom to Tails. "Yes, I am sad," said Tails to Sonic's mom, in an answer to her question. "It is really difficult and sad when someone dies, especially now that it is Sonic," said Sonic's mom. Not crying, but sounding really sad. She cried a lot at the funeral, but now she was being more normal and not making a big scene like a hot dog man selling hot dogs at a baseball game. "I know, it's like, I just, said Amy, trying not to cry about how Sonic is dead and she is sad. "I just want everything to go away." Amy started to cry again because she is just so emotionally weak like a goddamn child. "I understand that you are sad, Amy, but I have to tell you something. Please do not kill yourselves, okay?" said Sonic's mom in a very sad and meaning it way. "Being a teen is the hardest thing in the world. It is harder than being in a war or in jail. I know it, but do not kill yourself because it'll get cooler when you're done being a teen." Tails
I
looked
think his
down.
mom doesn't know what she's talking about. I think she's never been in a war or jail before.
Tails looked down at the ground of the car and did not know what to say. But he said, "Okay." He said it in a sad and quiet way. What was real was that Tails really did want to kill himself now that Sonic was dead. What was the point of living if you were not going to do it with your best friend, parentheses, Sonic? Then they got to Sonic's house and they went inside. And just after they took off their fancy clothes and Rouge and Espio came over with Knuckles and Knuckles Kunkles Jr., who were there, Rouge looked very burlesque in her tiny baby dress with her unlimited
Why?
boobs.
Why does she have tiny baby bras and tiny
Tiny
baby
baby
dresses?
dresses.
Why is all her shit called tiny baby?
I also really love the descriptor of her boobs as being unlimited. It's such a funny way of putting it.
That sounds like an anime probably or like a
Yes.
hentai, like unlimited boobs.
My boobs are unlimited. Rouge looked very burlesque in her tiny baby dress with her unlimited boobs. Oh, I need to switch the scene. in her unlimited boobs, nearly jumping out of her clothing, and Espio looked like a professional movie star on the red carpet because he was wearing a suit. Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. looked like shrunken presidents because they were also in suits.
Hello.
They all said togetherly. Wow, hi, said Tails to them.
We have to go talk to Sonic's mom to try and cheer her up and to be nice.
Said Sonic and said Rouge and Espio. And they gave
Dude,
Knuckles.
Sonic's dead. Really? You're gonna do that?
I know, I fucked it
Really?
up. I fucked
People
it
are
up.
mourning.
It's insensitive of me. That's my bad. That's my bad. And they gave Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. to Tails, who took them into a different room. I am so sad about Sonic, said Knuckles.
Dude, what is your
oh my
problem?
God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so
blue
sorry.
and yellow, blue and yellow.
I
Come
know,
on.
I'm sorry. You got it. You got it.
I'm so sad about Sonic.
Said Knuckles Jr.
This is really all the worst thing that could have happened. Yeah, this is the saddest.
Said Knuckles.
Sonic did not deserve to die.
They were all agreeing so much about it. After a while of not talking, Knuckles said,
Hey, Tails, the end of school is tomorrow, and I have my last ending test that decides if I move on to the next grade or if I lose and have to go back to the start of high school.
Tails looked at Knuckles in a deep way and said, Wow, that is a lot of pressure. What do you have to do? Tails was trying to help, was trying to be nice and helping to Knuckles because he was a baby now. But most of the time, when people complain about school to Tails, Tails just thought, not saying, Are you the king or queen of idiots? Because Tails was the smartest, and school was just all so easy to him, even the hardest classes that were made for geniuses.
What I have to do is write a news story about an event thing happening around town. It has to be real,
said Knuckles. Knuckles looked like a worrying boy and made a sound that showed he is worried. Knuckles was a baby.
There is everything that I can lose to this,
he said, in a way. How many times have they mentioned that Knuckles is a baby? Every single time. They mention he's a baby as often as they fucking can. I will look for a story for you, do your new story on. And hopefully you will pass and not have to go all the way back to the beginning of high school, costing you thousands of dollars in lost fees, said Tails to Knuckles, seriously. Then Tails asked to both of them, Hey, can you both give me all your baby teeth? Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. took all of their baby teeth and gave them to Tails. Using his technology and tools and good old-fashioned elbow lubricant, Tails glued all the teeth together to make enough teeth for one normal person mouth. And he went downstairs. Here, Amy, this is for you, said Tails, looking at Amy, who looked like a total dumpster ever since Sonic punched all of her teeth out before he killed himself.
Wait. Hold on. Now she's gonna have all baby teeth. So her teeth are gonna be really small.
That's so thoughtful of Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. just to give Tails all of his baby teeth because he simply asked. He's like,
Also,
hey, can I have your teeth?
is Tails ever gonna find out that Shadow fucked his girlfriend's mouth and then knocked her unconscious and then came inside of her?
Dude,
or is this?
This is before that happened.
This is before that happened?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But can I get a spoiler here? Does he find out that happened? I
honestly, I don't remember because the last chapter goes so off the fucking rails that I don't even remember what happens.
I just think it's funny that he said she'll have a normal person mouth now, but she won't because those will be baby teeth and they're gonna be really small. It's gonna look fucking weird.
I just love that in this story, this sentence said Tails looking at Amy, who looked like a total dumpster ever since Sonic punched all of her teeth out before he killed himself. Is a sentence.
So I think Tails, he has to give her new teeth because what's gonna happen is Sonic is most definitely gonna come back, right? He's the main character, dude. And then he's gonna get back with Amy, but he can't get back with Amy if she looks like a fucking dumpster with no teeth.
This is
So
true.
that's why he's giving her teeth.
I also love how much contempt the author has for Amy for having no teeth when it is completely Sonic's fault for punching all her fucking teeth out of her skull. Like, he did it.
Yeah. All right, I'm sorry. I just really had to get into
No,
that
I know.
right
There's
there. I
a
kinda
lot
love
a
that.
lot happened in those few sentences. You can use these teeth and they will feel just like you never had lost your teeth. Amy grabbed them from out of Tails' hand and put them in her mouth, and they fit so perfectly like a Pop-Tart in most toasters. Oh my god. Wow, Tails, this feels great. How on earth did you manage to get teeth for me? Said Amy, now sounding like she was no longer a teen loser. Amy hugged Tails. No need to worry. You can just thank the modern efforts of science. And Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. for giving up their fucking teeth, man. Tails cheered and danced a little, and Amy thanked pharmaceutical companies. And then Tails went back over to where Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. were. Then Tails went to Knuckles Jr., who was also there, and started to do conversation with him. Hey, Knuckles Jr., how are you? Said Tails to Knuckles Jr.
Good,
Said Knuckles Jr.
but sad, of course.
I did not see. Oh, that's sorry.
Oh, is that still me?
That's still
It's
you. That's my
yellow.
bad.
Oh. But sad, of course. I did not see this coming at all.
Knuckles Jr. hugged his legs to his body like an imaginary tree that could bring its roots up and use them as legs. Yeah, what is your deal? Are you really psychic because you're just a baby? Said Tails in a curious way.
I find I seem to be able to see the future sometimes, but I cannot always control it. As you said, I'm just a baby. But when I get older, I can probably use my powers to win the lottery and become the CEO of Progressive Car Insurance.
Said Knuckles Jr. Knuckles Jr. was saying this to Tails. Okay, said Tails. Tails also thought inside of his hugest brain that now he did not want to kill himself anymore. He was still sad, but talking to babies made him realize there's a lot more to come in life and good things if Sonic is dead, and it is not the end of the world, but only the end of Sonic, which is sad. Tails went downstairs into Sonic's garage by himself and found Sonic's electrical guitar and had it. Sonic used to play songs on this, said Tails to the ears of the world, thinking about when Sonic played cool rock and roll songs. Tails put the guitar on his body and held it and thought for a minute and then began to play a song. He played a sad song that was not mad or happy sounding, but it was not a slow song. It was a medium song that did not go too fast so you would just dance, or too slow so you would fall to sleep. Then Tails closed his eyes and just knew the words that he wanted to sing as he felt them, and he sang them out loud. Wow, this song that he had just made up, and the words to this song that he had just made up went. Being a teen is so hard. You have to learn how to drive a car. And if you hit anything, it is you to jail they will bring. You also have to go to school. It is definitely not for fools. And everything is even harder because my best friend died.
Oh, well, my best friend died. I just want to hide. High school drama is so hard to be a part of. It has crazy things like friendship and love. It is the worst. It makes me want to burst. You have to get a date or everyone will laugh. And in a lake they would push you off a raft.
Girls wear makeup and guys get tattoos, and there are so many possible drugs to do. And there are also bullies around, and sports with balls that are round. And everything is even harder because my best friend died.
Oh, well, my best friend died. I just want to hide. High school drama is so hard to be a part of. It has crazy things like friendship and love. It is the worst. It makes me want to burst.
I'm doing a middle finger at God, but God is not real, and the world is odd. I'm crying so much that my tears can make a cave where you cannot be scared, you just must be brave. I am tired of teens going on diets and being mad and starting riots, and everything is harder because my best friend died.
Oh, wow, my best friend died. Just wanna hide. High school drama is so hard to be a part of. It has crazy things like friendship and love. It is the worst. It makes me want to burst.
Oh wow, my best friend died, I just want to hide. High school drama is so hard to be a part of. It has crazy things like friendship and love. It is the worst, it makes me want to burst. Tails started singing. Tails singing sounded like a beautiful butterfly telling its life story to a little boy who fell asleep on the bench in the park without losing his money to a common thief. Tails finished singing his song, and he saw all the tears that were at the bottom of his feet on the ground in a pool so big that he could invite a cruise ship to do its first cruise in the pool. But then all of a sudden, Tails turned and saw Knuckles Jr. at the door to the garage. That's not the line. Your line is, that was really sad to hear. I know. I know. We'll we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We just gotta get through this chapter, and we can talk about it. Said Knuckles Jr. Then Knuckles Jr. walked forward into the room and tripped in a way that the door behind him closed and now locked, and they were in the room, so they were locked in there. Said Knuckles Jr. like a little idiot baby. Oh no! Screamed Tails out loud.
Did you fix it?
I fixed it. I fucked up.
Okay, because you just typed shush.
I know.
Pretend I spoke how I normally do for Knuckles. That's actually good, because that means they didn't hear me fuck up. Yeah.
They didn't. They just heard me laughing to myself.
Yeah. If only we had a lockpick.
Said Knuckles Jr. then. Then all of a sudden, everything came to Tails, and he realized what just happened over the past events. That's it! That is it! Using this information and my big intelligence, I know what is happening, shouted Tails. Tails got so excited that he spun his flying tail so hard that he went right through the locked door, so it was open now, and went out of Sonic's house and directly to Cream's house without even celebrating at an ice cream place first.
Okay.
Now we can talk about it.
Ludmilla, Delia, you guys had no right to go that hard for a shitpost. Seth, you did surprisingly well.
You guys carried. Whenever I was so mad, Mila was like, "I can help with the instrumental." I get the instrumental. I'm like, "This is kind of good." Then I give it to Delia. She does her part, and I'm like, "Motherfucker, this is actually good. I actually have to like try and sing now." She murdered.
Yeah.
They murdered.
I'm gonna be honest.
The girls went off.
Every time it was about to be Delia's part, it was just dopamine, because that very first line she does, every time it repeats is just so good. And she's like, my best friend
Oh,
died.
my best friend died. I know, dude. It was sweet.
Dude, can we please release that on Spotify? Can
I
we
mean,
do
yeah,
that? Is that
I think
possible?
we have to get a record deal first. We can put it on SoundCloud. We can make a little karaoke music video for it.
We should be able to put it on Spotify, right? Using that hosting thing that you were talking
Well,
about.
that's for podcasts, but I mean, I guess we could technically do it that way.
Dude,
Leo, they did care
let's
so
do
much,
it.
and it pissed me off so badly. They cared too much. They cared so much about it. They did a good
Uh,
job.
Absolutely mogging Seth throughout the song, but
Of course, of course, I had to sing on a song that Deli is ripping on. The day after my ass is out drinking and my voice is shot. It was fucked up, man.
we at least have to release it on the Names to Virtual channel, bare minimum, if we
Oh,
don't
yeah,
put it
no,
on
for sure.
Spotify. The music video, you can just edit it. And so every time she says my best friend died, you can just put like Sonic and then put like a cross through him. Like a
Or put
like
him
an
on a
X amount.
cross.
That'd be funny too.
That'd be fucking great.
Not everyone can sing at NTV. I can't.
Basically everyone can.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. I have to move tomorrow, so we have to get through this. We're finishing this.
It's just one
motherfucker
more
tonight.
chapter, right?
I believe this is the very last chapter of Sonic High School that we are about to read. But I do want to say thank you to Mila and thank you to Delia. Yes, let's please post that after the stream. But after stream, someone else needs to do that because I'm not gonna be able to do it. So someone needs to clip it and fucking do it because I can't.
And then we'll make
Oh my
an
God.
actual video for it
No,
soon.
we'll make a sick video for it. It'll be awesome.
Yeah. It has been confirmed. I definitely can't sing. Have you heard my voice? Does this voice sound like it can produce a tune?
1 year NTV anniversary karaoke stream. We get Al to sing.
Not-
We get Al to sing "Yellow" by Coldplay.
You know what? Hey, if NTV gets monetized and you guys pay me, I will do it.
Based.
I can assure you.
Hear that, boys? Let's run.
I'll do whatever you. Hey guys, yeah. If NTV gets monetized and you pay my living, I'll do whatever you want. I'll be.
Everybody needs to bot the VOD so our watch hours go up.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. I thought about playing the song again as a jump scare.
But we should play it at the end.
And yeah, for the outro, I love that idea. You're so fucking right. Sonic High School, Chapter 25. Now I'm here in Cream's room, and here you are, Shadow, said Tails to Shadow, who were both standing there. Don't be alarmed.
What? I do not know what to say.
Said Shadow to Tails with a big worried face, like a coconut with those 3 holes like a bowling ball. No, it is okay. You are doing exactly what I knew you would be doing, and I understand why, said Tails in a cool and not angry way to Shadow, responding. You are here to get what Cream has, and that is the last Ultra Chaos Emerald, which is what is in your hand. Tails, being smart, was right. Shadow was holding the last Chaos Emerald, and it was in Cream's room, in her ring.
Oh,
Shouted Shadow.
usually I'm the one with the brain behind doing a crime, but please explain to me how you know all this.
Well, said Tails loudly like a rock star, it all started when Amy and Rouge got locked away in the detention zone. Tails then sat on the windowsill and explained the whole thing. That was how Amy's bracelet ended up in Cream's vagina, and why Cream has the last Ultra Chaos Emerald, and why Sonic did not come back to life when Shadow tried to use them. Amy and Rouge were in detention, and Cream wanted to help them before they turned into starving women whose reproduction system died because they did not have enough nutrition to create a child ever again. So Cream decided to be a good friend, like I always have been to Sonic, and she went and broke into your, parentheses, Shadow's, room to steal a lockpick. She knew you'd have a lockpick because you were always saying about how you do crimes in the city and environs. So, Cream went and broke into your room and stole a lockpick. But when she was there, she also saw the Ultra Chaos Emeralds and took the white one because it looks like riches.
Wow, she is a stealing bitch.
Screamed Shadow to Tails' listening body.
What is wrong with this succubus?
Shadow stomped his feet and bothered to put his penis back now that it was small from listening to Tails talk and not have to pretend crime rescues sex with Cream. The fuck does that even mean, man?
Don't know.
Just wait and listen, fag nips, said Tails to Shadow, still a little mad at Shadow for being the asshole at Sonic's funeral, but mostly forgiving him now for doing this. Then what happened was Cream, as a hall's monitor, was able to go into the Denton room because she had the power as an inside agent. She had put the lockpick way up in her vagina as a hiding spot because who was going to look up there even if a burglar comes to take her carried goods? She went over to Amy in a sneaking way and moved her mouth without saying the words by not making sound but still making it look like she was talking and not saying them in her head either because she was doing it with her mouth so you could see, told Amy to reach up into her vagina. Cream's vagina was so small and junior at the time because she was not in love. So when Amy stuck her hand up in the Cream's vagina, her bracelet got stuck in there and it stayed up there. And she could not even get the lockpick anyway because Cream's vagina was basically like a pencil case full of peanut butter. It was too hard and small to get up. But it was good at holding things like Spider-Man. So Amy's bracelet was in there, and Cream had to leave before she became the biggest suspect ever. And Amy did not notice her bracelet was gone because she was so hungry and needing soda. And so she put a new one on when she got home anyway. So it was like she did not notice. And then when Sonic died, Cream was wearing the last Chaos, Ultra Chaos Emerald. So it did not work because the jewels have to be touching for a man to get off a wish.
So not only did Sonic cheat on Amy, he beat the absolute fuck out of her for no reason. Yeah. Dude, he has the best morals in all of Hugh School, that's for sure.
Oh my god.
Is this
This
okay?
is you.
Wow, it makes so much sense. And it is so obvious.
Said
Said-
Shadow to
Uh-oh.
said Shadow to Tails with a big eye face.
I can't believe I did not think of that first. Maybe I am so dark that it is hard to see sometimes. Haha.
Shadow laughed and black birds flew above outside like planes running up high with invisible legs. Yeah, but now we have to use them. We have to bring Sonic back to life. Tails screamed at Shadow.
But first, we should get Amy because she is Sonic's girlfriend and she should be there if we are going to bring him back from hell.
He's in hell?
Why is Sonic? I guess he should.
I
be
mean,
in hell.
he beat the absolute
Yeah,
fuck
no,
out of
he
Amy,
would be in
and he had
hell.
premarital sex.
And also,
that's
let the record show hell is canon in Sonic High School. Hell's real, and Sonic is there.
yeah.
Sounded
God
Shadow
exists.
in an ideal way. Tails and Shadow held hands and ran out the window, and then Tails flew with them with his flying tails to Sonic's house where everyone was. Tails and Shadow got there and slammed the door open like a football team making a slammer's noise. Then they went and found Sonic's mom, who said Amy was in the other room, and Tails and Shadow went to the other room and opened that door too. Amy was inside the room watching Rouge refill Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. using her whopping boobs. Rouge was wearing an itty-bitty tiny baby bra that was so small, like she got it from Gymboree, and her boobs were so super big, like a couple of planets that were pretty much breaking the bra parts because they were so big. It is a rumor about the town that you can see Rouge's boobs from space. Rouge, your boobies are out again. What are you doing? Said Tails to Rouge. And then Rouge and Amy looked at him.
Tails, I'm feeding Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. from my boobs. It is natural and healthy to do this.
Said Rouge.
I didn't realize she was such a feminist. I like that.
Rouge's boobs were so big that it was like Tails and Shadow could almost not fit into the room with her. They were all watching the video of Knuckles and Knuckles Jr., the baby kissing that Sonic had made of them to inspire his kissing powers, because watching it made Rouge's boobs make more boob food. This is actually your line. No, it is actually. It's my line, sorry. And I am watching, so I know how to do it one day, said Amy, who still looked a little sad because Sonic died, but smiling. Cool, said Tails. Can I try? Tails and Shadow went over to Rouge's boobs, but by the time they got over there, this happened.
Hold on. Does he not care about SBO? What is his problem?
Dude.
Oh no, they're empty. Sorry.
Said Rouge to Tails and Shadow.
Both of them? Both of them wanted to get a piece?
It is supposed to be for babies most of the time, anyway, or if you are in love. Oh man.
Yelled Shadow to the clouds. Next time, said Tails, winking at Rouge in her lily-sized boobs. Anyway, we're going to bring Sonic back to life. Come on. What? No, not again, you beguilers. Amy screamed at almost one of them in the face for doing another disrespect to Sonic's dead version.
Listen, women of the night.
Said Shadow in a disrespecting way.
We are for real this time. Something was messed up and it was all Cream's fault. Cream's fault. Or maybe even yours, if you go back far enough in the way everything happened in the world. Let's go. I don't know.
Said Rouge.
You were an idiot ass last time at the funerella. No, listen to them.
Said Knuckles.
Oh, wait. I got it wrong. Hold on.
Yeah.
No, listen to them.
Said Knuckles Jr. to Rouge, who was cool, not a nerd.
Go. God, that baby is a genius.
Said Shadow, knowing that he was right and that they should go with him. Tails was the smartest. Okay, said Amy, and they all put their things into bags and left. Knuckles, who is now a baby, made sure to put his camera with him close. Then they told everyone in the house who was there from the funeral, which was all the important people that you know, and they ran faster than a boulder to high school, where Sonic's funeral was, and where he was put in the ground now, but not covered up yet because they did not get to start. The funeral, only a few hours ago, they did not have to do it right away because it was the safest neighborhood. Not like the city where Sonic's body would get stolen and sold for drugs and motorcycles. Everyone ran just so fast to the funeral spot at the high school that when they got there, there was Sonic's coffin in the hole. Here we are at the funeral spot now, said Tails, to everyone, of course. We gotta get it out, but how? Screamed Amy, and starting to cry like a girl tea kettle. God damn it, Amy, said Tails in a mad, serious voice. Stop acting like a children. Tails thought Amy was being the Kraken of drama just because Sonic was dead. What we need to do is figure out, using our brains, how to get Sonic out of this hole. Tails rubbed his chin with his smart hands and tried to get his genius brain running like an engine of 10 red cars.
Didn't they say during the funeral that they wouldn't dig him out even if he was alive because it was too hard?
Well, he's not covered yet because they didn't have time yet.
Oh, okay. Well, get ready for this one.
Oh, excuse me. Let me get through, please.
Said a big retarded voice from the back of the group of people standing around Sonic's hole. Oh, the lunch lady, said Tails in a happy way.
Yeah, I'm canceled for sure after this one, dude.
Hello, children.
Said the lunch lady, who was also at Sonic's funeral and Sonic's house after the funeral. The lunch lady was very big and tall, went in Sonic's hole, and tossed out the coffin. Right out onto the ground next to it.
There you go,
said the lunch lady with a face full of smiles. She was deaf, too. Cool, said Tails. Thanks. Shadow, where are you? Shadow came in from the backer area where it was dark, under a tree, because Shadow was the darkest person everyone knew.
Here I am, Tails, and here are my jewels.
Said Shadow as he grabbed his sack.
Ready?
Here goes nothing, yelled Tails like a gay little boy. Don't you just hate when people say that? Shadow grabbed his jewels and made sure all 7 of them were there. And they were there. He was so nervous because if he did not work, they would surely put him under a citizen's arrest for being a public ass. If he did not do this right, he would die. And Tails would too, because he was doing it with him and they would throw rocks at them. And they would throw rocks at them.
Yeah, hold on. Sorry.
Yeah. Using these Ultra Chaos Emeralds,
said Shadow.
I wish up out the gods to grant my wish that you can bring back Sonic back up to normal, healthy life here.
The bag glowed a whole lot and made screaming noises, and a big stick of light came down came down from the sky and hit the bag, and all the Ultra Chaos Emeralds started to go crazy. They were making sounds like frogs and trains and horses and hitting into each other and shooting out lights and being basically the circus. Shadow and Tails were squinty with their eyes like the Chinese doctor who touched Sonic's balls. Wow! Screamed Amy.
Oh my god.
Screamed Rouge.
Cool.
Screamed Espio.
What?
Screamed Knuckles.
A miracle.
Screamed Knuckles Jr. Just then, Cream got there from being unconscious at her house and screamed.
No way.
Wait, who was this? Oh,
This is the scream.
No way.
when did they gather all these people? I thought they only brought.
Oh, sorry. I forgot here we are. We weren't at the right scene at all.
When did they get all these people though? Because wasn't Cream unconscious after being hit over the head with a piggy bank?
Right there. Just then, Cream got there.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm out of it. I was too busy goofing around in chat. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, say. What was my silver voice?
I think it was like a trucker.
I wrote down gritty gay kinda. I don't know what that means.
Oh wow.
That is
don't know.
exactly the voice you did for him. Scream Silver.
What was my?
Hold on.
You did Stern.
Oh wow, very impressive.
Said Sonic's really Chinese doctor in a less loud way. And the lunch lady said something too, and so did Sonic's mom and Miss Lesson. Then everyone in the world just became super bright, and no one could see a thing for a moment, and they could not hear. They noticed either Bia coos. There was a ringing around in their ears. It was so crazy, like being inside a marshmallow filled with ringing sounds. Then everyone peeked out behind their hands at where they were looking, and all the Chaos Emeralds were gone, and Sonic's coffin was open. And look, there was Sonic. Sonic was standing up on his coffin where he was inside, and he was on top of it, smiling, and not black anymore, but regular old blue Sonic. Yes, it really happened.
Hey guys, what did I miss?
Shouted Sonic in his regular old cool way.
Sonic!
Screamed everyone at the same time because they were all there and heard and saw them together, so it was just natural. They all ran to him and went down from the coffin, and everyone was hugging, and it was so beautiful to see.
Wait, Eggman was at the funeral? Did I miss that part?
That did not happen.
Okay. I heard Eggman was laughing at my funeral. What an ass.
Said Sonic, and laughed because he was the most living person ever now. Wow, Sonic, you are alive, said Tails to Sonic.
You bet.
Said Sonic, and high-fived him, which is already after they hugged everyone. Already they hugged because they are best friends, but Sonic hugged everyone else too.
Oh yeah, it was yellow. Okay. Wow, Sonic, you really are the fastest.
Said Knuckles Jr.
You came back to life in 2 days. You beat the world record for the fastest coming back to life because it took Jesus 3 days.
Knuckles Jr. was right. Sonic was the fastest, and it was now completely proved. Sonic, I miss you. I forgive you, shouted Amy, crying and happy. Amy cried so much. She was such a loser about emotions.
Amy, I was thinking a lot about you when I was dead.
Said Sonic, before typical gay girl Amy cut him off in a rude way. It doesn't matter, Sonic. I want to become true boyfriend and girlfriend with you now, screamed Amy and did, holding on Sonic's hands. Sonic looked surprised.
He beat the fuck out of her, and she's rude for cutting him off
I
and
know.
saying it doesn't matter. I'm kind of mad.
Yeah.
I'm actually a little tilted about that. Fucking gay girl Amy over here doesn't deserve that.
Now? Right now?
Said Sonic in a question voice. Yes.
Wait, what happened to his gay ball problem? Does it just go away because the wish was for him to be healthy?
Oh, brother. Don't worry. We're getting there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right now, yelled Amy. Let them watch. This is true love. Then Amy leaped out of her clothing, except her underwears, like a horse jumping out of a plane, and landed in front of Sonic's body, ready for his grand genitals. And Sonic already had all of his clothes off by the time she started the jump because he is the fastest.
In front of his mom? Really? Yeah, sex!
Shouted Sonic, and he finally revealed his penis. His penis instantly grew to dangerous levels. He swinged it around, and everyone would duck or jump over it. Sonic's penis was just the biggest anyone ever saw. It was like he had the World Trade Center sitting on his balls. His balls were super big too, like beanbag chairs full of olives.
Yes, my measurements were correct.
Said Sonic's
Oh
extra
wait,
Chinese
hold
doctor.
on, hold
You
on,
wanna
hold
redo
on. I
that
gotta
one?
Yeah, because I thought it was just Sonic.
Yes, my measure.
These are big words for me to try to do this voice in. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir. My measurements were correcto.
Said Sonic's extra Chinese doctor.
His penis and balls are definitely the biggest available.
I don't know. That's not quite right.
You're
but it's good
doing
enough.
you're doing Japanese. Chinese is a little bit higher. It's
Yeah.
Like, it's like he's a penis and I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna do it, but you know what I mean.
See, it's not racist because we're actually different. We're trying to show the difference between the different Asian voices. We don't lump them all together
It
like
says
some.
in text that Sonic's extra Chinese doctor. So we're just being respectful, honestly.
Yeah.
Amy was so filled with sex and arousing that her boobs were rock hard. She opened her legs and she was still wearing a panty, but her vagina was really hard too, like a trap door to the love basement. That's actually a good sentence. Sonic did not care, and he shot his incredible penis right into her vagina through her girl clothing, and she felt his love immediately. His penis was ice cold, and it was so big it made it up her body and into her mouth, and she could taste it, and it tasted like money and ice cream.
I love you,
Screamed Sonic, ramming his penis in and out of her body like a drain cleaner. I love you too, screamed Amy, trying to make words while Sonic's penis rearranged her internal organs. Sonic took his penis out and beat her boobies back and forth with it, and she loved it. Sonic's pensy was so strong that it made her roll back and forth, and by now she was so in love that her vagina was shooting whipped cream.
Wait for me,
Shouted Sonic, laughing like a millionaire. Sonic did legendary sex moves to Amy, like picking her up with his penis and doing tricks and brushing her teeth with his penis and letting her walk on it like a tightrope walker, but with his penis. He even put Amy into his coffin, but he wiggled his penis back and forth in her vagina while the coffin was like a beef slinky. Sonic's penis was so big and long and wide that you could fit families inside of it. If you think you've seen a bigger penis, you have not, because Sonic was in love now. Amy's vagina was breathing hard and reaching out for Sonic's penis, and soon he put it in her vagina and decided to do a final systems check before taking off to the semen sphere. Sonic grabbed his balls and held them against his body and ran into Amy with his penis, and his penis immediately flooded her vagina with his fresh, creamy s'mores. He shot so much semen into Amy that it was coming out of her ears. Eventually, he took his penis out and shot more out like bullets. He even shot one in the sky that night that someone noticed Venus was about 10 feet to the right of it, where it should have been because Sonic's semen bullets hit it. Sonic, screamed Amy, marry me. Amy kneeled up from on the ground, holding a big ring like the one she wore, and held it in front of her face. Sonic
Cum oozing out of her ears while she's proposing. That's crazy.
Amy kneeled up from on the ground like a big ring, holding a big ring like the one she wore, and held it in front of her face. Sonic looked at it, smiled, and shoved his show-stopping penis right through the ring and into her mouth, and yelled a passionate sound, and Sonic said,
I will marry you.
Amy drank all the semen that she could and grew an inch in height from it. Then Amy took out the real rings that she had, and Sonic and Amy put them on so they could get married. You just had sex, screamed Tails. You just became true boyfriend with girlfriend. Congratulations, Sonic and Amy,
Wow.
said Espio.
I thought I was a sex professional. I'm seeing true love,
Shouted Rouge. Everyone laughed and cheered as Amy finished doing sex and kissed each other's penises and vaginas and balls one last time for good luck. Then they put their clothes on that Silver had folded and put in piles for them since she was a really good, nice guy.
Hey, hey,
Shouted Knuckles.
thanks, I got my story now.
Knuckles waved a bunch of pictures of Sonic and Amy having sex in high school garden area and the article they wrote attached to it.
Cool, I am happy I did help you.
Said Sonic, winking, still feeling like super sex Sonic.
Yes, that is wonderful.
Said a big voice behind them in an important way.
Well, hello. I am the principal of the high school. Wow, the president.
Shouted Sonic.
Not what that is.
Seeing the principal was like seeing a celebrity because he only came out one day every year.
Yes, Sonic, you are the best.
Said the principal. Yeah, he is, said Amy to the principal. We just had sex right here and he is my true boyfriend now. The principal laughed and smiled.
Wait, is this real quick? It says yelled Sonic to the principal. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Wait just a minute.
Yelled Sonic to the principal.
I may be the best at some things, but everyone here is the best at some things. Amy is the best at being nice and having emotions. Even though she's a rude bitch that interrupts. Fucking stupid gay girl Amy. Tails is the best at being smart and flying. Shadow is the best at doing crimes and driving and being dark, but also being nice. So he is the best at being two things at the same time. Espio is the best at jumping and getting teenage women. Dude, he's the best at that? That's crazy. Rouge is the best at seducing and being in love and a mom. Knuckles is the best at doing high school while still being a baby, and he was the best at fighting before becoming a baby. Knuckles Jr. is the best at being psychic and being cool while still being a baby. Cream is the best at being happy and kind of smart. Silver is the best at acting and being nice and normal and cool. The lunch lady is the best at making people happy and being strong. The Chinese doctor is the best at medical things and Asian abilities. Sonic's mom, that's his mom. He should say my mom. Okay. Sonic's mom is the best at cooking and cleaning.
Miss Lesson is the best at teaching and being the nurse. Vector was the best at biting and making people mad, and Charmy was the best at dancing and singing, but now they are dead. I am the best at being fast, being moral, relieving others, and most other things. Yeah!
Said everyone else together to save time, patting each other's on the back and laughing and smiling and cheering because they were all the best in some way,
I guess that is true.
said the principal.
I really want to thank you, though, Sonic. You really have the best morals. Everyone needs to learn from you about what high school is really all about. It is not about drama and being mean and being crazy and getting mad or sad or making other people mad or sad. High school is about falling in love and getting married and maybe having kids. I don't think teen moms are exactly what high school's all about, but I appreciate this principal dude. He's kind of cool. Thank you, Sonic, for showing everyone this. Also, Knuckles, I'm very impressed with your story, even though you're just a baby and you passed this year of high school and do not have to go back to the start and pay thousands of dollars in fees and charges. He didn't do the story yet. He just took pictures of them having sex.
In a graveyard. Knuckles
Yeah.
cheered and hoorayed like a baby, and the principal shook Sonic's hand and could not help but look at how big Sonic's penis was, even still when it was not out. Hey, said Tails to Sonic and everyone, today was the last day of school. It is summer now.
Yeah, cool, great.
Shouted everyone together at the same time.
Good.
Said the principal to everyone and then to Sonic.
Now I can do whatever I want to do, and that is rename high school in your honor. Honor?
Honor is spelled Honer. The whole big group of everyone laughed and smiled and walked away toward the sun, ready to go have summer before they would have to return to the new Sonic High School.
Can I read the author's note?
Please do.
Wow, I am so sad, but kind of filled of relief that this is the end of Sonic High School. I got sad at the end, and I wanted to make sure it came out just right. I hope you all enjoyed this story as much as it was that I did writing this story. If you have any ideas for another shorter fan fiction you want me to do, send it to me in a message, and maybe I can do it in the future. But I need to take a break for now. If you just want to talk, you can send me a message because it will send me an email that you sent a message, so I will always know where you are. Please tell all your friends about this story and spread it on the internet so everyone reads it and it becomes even more of a worldwide pheromone. Thank you.
And with that, that's Sonic High School.
That was really something.
Buddy, I don't mean to be like... I do not mean to... I'm just saying, the principal
Can you mod me, by the
himself
way?
told Sonic that he has the best morals when they were at his funeral because he killed himself after he punched his girlfriend's teeth out of her face.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the GOAT. Are you modded now, my friend?
No.
Now you're modded. There it was. That was the Kino, man.
It was pretty good. Not gonna lie.
Whenever we started this whole crazy thing, I did not think it was gonna end like that. Everybody, there was a message. The quality of that message is up for debate, but the message was that everybody is the best at something, and that's kind of beautiful. when you think about it.
Yeah. Amy was so good at being nice, even though she's a rude fucking bitch.
I loved his big speech, and he just talks about how cool Charmy and Vector were, and then it's like, well, they're dead, so never mind, I guess. Even though Vector was the worst ever.
Can I just say, I hate how, like, here's the thing. This guy, probably 12, wrote about, like, how Sonic's penis was, like, fucking massive. But that's, like, a thing you see in, like, actual, like, fucking dojins and shit. They will actually just draw, like, these massive... And I'm like, what do you find so appealing about, like, a 20-foot penis? What is your problem?
Families in Sonic's penis.
Like, I don't even know, man. Also, they had sex in front of Sonic's mom. And I love that he refers to her as Sonic's mom when he's talking.
It's so funny.
Not my mom,
It's
Sonic's mom.
So fucking funny. They had sex in front of the babies, in front of the principal, in front of his own mother.
Mm-hmm.
In front of the lunch lady.
In front of the lunch lady.
Who Sonic put his head in her vagina.
Yeah, he still never came clean about that one. And I feel like he owes that to Amy after beating the fuck out of her.
I mean,
but,
yeah,
you know,
probably right. Okay, I mean, that is pretty sweet. Having sex on your own grave is kind of the coolest thing you could possibly do ever. That's fucking really swagged up.
Yeah.
Also, how'd you like the real bookend at the end when they finally named it Sonic High School? The principal renamed it Sonic High School.
I find it really funny because there are other, like, where was it? What chapter was it in? They were, like, naming off, like, local businesses.
Oh, 50 Shades of Sonic and
yeah,
all the
it was
Sonic
the books.
movies. Yeah, iSonic.
Yeah. Did it say iSonic, like iRobot?
Yes. It was lowercase I,
That's
capital
fucking
S,
hilarious.
iSonic.
That's really funny. Yeah.
I mean,
This author really went into very descriptive things when it came to sex, but he really missed out. I don't know where it was. Where they, like, he just, like, oh, it was like with her proposing. He should have, like, been more descriptive about her proposing. Like, he could have gone into detail on that. He could have been like, on her knees, hair disheveled, come out of her ears, ring in front of her face. But instead he's just like, on her knees, ring out. But during sex he's like, penis spinning like a helicopter. Also, why is your camera grayed out?
It shouldn't be. Is it grayed out right now?
No, I was watching it on your OBS part and it was grayed out for a second.
Yeah. Okay, buddy. I did find the spin-off fan fiction, and do you want to know the title of it?
Yeah.
The title of this spin-off fan fiction is Sonic the Hedgehog World War II Dragon. Okay, hold up. I need to phrase this again. Sonic the Hedgehog, World War II Dragon, a Sonic High School story.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, we'll get to there eventually. We'll get to the spin-offs eventually, but I mean, God forgive me for saying it, but I might just be a little Sonic'd out after all that, man. I feel like I mean, you wouldn't want to read like Moby Dick and then go read like Blood Meridian right afterwards. It's just too much. It's too much Kino for a guy like me, quite frankly. So, Al,
yeah.
What was your favorite moment from Sonic High School?
Let me see here. I like the song. I think the song is my favorite. I think the only reason that's my favorite is because how good Delia and Ludmilla went with it. I mean, they really did pop off.
How good those two did on it.
Well, you did all right. But if it was just you singing, I don't know if it'd quite be my
No.
favorite.
No, it would not be. It would
Yeah.
not be at all.
But
I-
like mixing them into it, you know, took it to the next level.
Absolutely, absolutely. The biggest thank yous of all time to Delia and Mila. Make sure everyone gets some +2s in chat for Delia and Mila, because they really, that could have been a big fart of nothing, and they saved it. They made it worth something.
I think my favorite thing about this one wasn't necessarily like the over the top shit. It was mostly like it was just like the little like he would say something and then he would like just have to like say a little something else right after.
That's my favorite part is, I think, like all the little tiny stuff, like that every time the Knuckles was a baby now, by the way, Knuckles was a baby. He was saying to Tails, who was next to him, to the left, to the right of him, actually. All that's my favorite part, is just the bizarre writing, the bizarre things that have been said. I loved every second of it. Every word was purposeful. And I was
I don't
beautiful.
know. Yeah, I don't know what chapter it was, but they said something and then immediately after they just throw out like 2 words that are just like the absolute like it made me laugh earlier. I don't remember what it was, but it's that kind of stuff that gets me.
And also, I mean, all the incredible similes and metaphors, specifically during the sex portions, were just terrific.
They're good. I really you know, like I said, the over the top stuff wasn't like what really got me. It was mostly like the shit that got me the best was just like the little snippets right after he would say something.
I'm realizing the author treats Amy in this story the way they treat Meg in Family Guy. She
Yes.
doesn't really do anything wrong ever, but everyone just fucking hates her. God, where was that really? What did Knuckles, or what did Tails say to? Oh, that's what he said. God damn it, Amy! Stop acting like a children. Like this, the hostility that everyone has toward Amy.
Yeah.
Amy getting teeth. See, like, there's just so much to chew on, pun intended. But like that happened too, and that was like in the last like 4 pages of the fucking story.
They never did give us closure on Tails and Creamy, whether they're still together
That's true. That's true. That's
or not.
True.
I'm kind of upset about that. Like, she did get, to be fair, she did suck Sonic's dick, or not Sonic, Shadow's, somewhat consensually. But the sex part, she was asleep for.
Say she sucked his dick consensually. Then he raped her unconscious body.
Yeah.
Lunch lady getting chewed on was pretty sweet. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know how Tails and Cream are doing, but
I also really do love the do you remember how quaint it was in the first 2 chapters whenever the author went on that weird break to talk about how the lunch lady was deaf because she was carrying trees in Vietnam or whatever? Like, that was the funniest thing ever.
yeah, well, no, she went deaf from an earthquake.
Oh yeah, sorry,
Which I
that's
don't know
right. Yeah. How can I forget?
I don't know how the earthquake made her deaf, but
It sure did though.
yeah, which Balketh, you say that. I wonder if he didn't care because he's just like, I'm fine with that, or if he just hates her. It never talks about it.
I had the impression that Shadow was just doing it so he could get the piggy bank and get the jewel back.
Okay, yeah, but Cream didn't do it for those reasons. So how does Tails feel about that?
Maybe he's a. Oh my god! I said a horrible neck cramp. Maybe he's a cock. Oh yeah. The fortune cookies, right? The fortune cookies are terrific.
If you're black, you won't have any friends. If you're black, you won't have any friends. You're like a person, but darker in color.
No shitting, not shitting you. Whenever I was making the slides at the dealership, that is when I stopped. I said, I'm not typing that on my screen. I'm not typing out the phrase, if you are black, you will have no friends in public. I'm not doing that. So then I put my shit away and I played some Slay the Spire.
Yeah, and then you came on here and streamed it to the public.
Yeah, that's fine, though. They understand. All right, guys.
The Path of Glory fortune, by the way, still never had, like, they never explained how that one, like, it really, nothing happened. What does that mean? Was it just saying that, like, was it not Sonic's glory, but, like, Espio's glory? Because Espio got laid after that? Or, because, like, other than that, that fortune cookie doesn't make sense. And they never go to it.
I can't even say that the act of those two having sex is what. Well, I mean, it kind of is actually, because those two had sex. Knuckles Jr. was born, and because of that, the rebirth, the Einstein body swap happened, and Knuckles Jr. had Rouge Lady. I mean, I guess it all, like, Sonic kind of got his ball problem solved because all that stuff had to happen because Espio had sex with Rouge.
Maybe you're right, Valketh. Maybe the glory was Sonic getting to watch the two babies that were made because of Espio's penis. And Knuckles' penis.
And then they're watching the video of it in Sonic's mom's house. Of the two babies kissing.
And Amy's like, I'm watching this so I can learn. And Rouge is like, I'm watching this because my babies were making out. And then also, Tails and Shadow trying to suck on Rouge's boobs. And then she's like, no, not right now. And Tails is like, all right, maybe next time, wink, wink.
Maybe next time is crazy. Let me get a rain check on sucking on your titties, baby girl.
Pencil me in for tomorrow when you're filled back up on the milk machine.
Man, what a beautiful story. All right, buddy. Well, listen, guys. I got a big day tomorrow. So we're going to end the stream. But Al, should we play him out with the iconic song?
Yes, please. I want to hear it again.
All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining us on this journey. Maybe one day we'll revisit this. It's been a terrific time. The best of times, the blurst of times. Thank you guys all. I hope everyone has a terrific night. And thank you again. Al, is there anything you want to say before we play him out?
Thank you guys, and I would really appreciate it if they ever try to cancel me, if you guys come to my defense for Chinese voice and deaf person voice and gay voice. And the slurs I'm not worried about because, like, they were written in. I mean, the voices were said, you know, they were kind of described, but, you know, just back me up when that time comes, all right?
Just wait
because
till
they'll get to me.
Out.
Yeah, they'll get to me one day, but today's not that day. So I just need you guys to be prepared. You know, someday there will be a Google Doc about me, and I just want you guys to be ready. So, but that's it. Yeah, that's all I had to say. Thanks. It was fun.
All right, kiddos. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye, y'all. Going to bed. Good night.
All right, Seth.
Being a teen is so hard. You have to learn how to drive a car. And if you hit anything, it is you to jail they will bring. You also have to go to school. It is definitely not for fools. And everything is even harder because my best friend died.
Oh, well, my best friend died. I just want to hide. High school drama is so hard to be a part of. It has crazy things like friendship and love. It is the worst. It makes me want to burst. You have to get a date or everyone will laugh. And in a lake they would push you off a raft.
Girls wear makeup and guys get tattoos, and there are so many possible drugs to do, and there are also bullies around, and sports with balls that are round, and everything is even harder because my best friend died.
Oh, well, my best friend died. I just want to hide. High school drama is so hard to be a part of. It has crazy things like friendship and love. It is the worst. It makes me want to burst.
I'm doing a middle finger at God, but God is not real, and the world is odd. I'm crying so much that my tears can make a cave where you cannot be scared, you just must be brave. I am tired of teens going on diets and being mad and starting riots, and everything is harder because my best friend died.
Oh, well, my best friend died. I just wanna hide. High school drama is so hard to be a part of. It has crazy things like friendship and love. It is the worst. It makes me want to burst.
Oh wow, my best friend died. I just want to hide. High school drama is so hard to be a part of. It has crazy things like friendship and love. It is the worst. It makes me want to burst.